Yep.
Unmuted.
Perfect.
Sweet. All right, everybody. Well, with that, welcome to this session of, I don't know what you guys normally call yourself. Runtime Initiative.
Yeah.
That's right. Runtime Initiative. Out of the Abyss, Moraine, whatever. So today we'll be playing something a little different. In case you can't tell, we're going to be playing a different system called Monster of the Week, which is a system that is powered by the Apocalypse, which is the sort of base level system behind it. So there are plenty of games that are built using this kind of system, which is really, really cool. Big fan of it. But the idea or the theme here that we're looking for is like a pulpy kind of episode of TV, like your sort of trashy sci-fi or fantasy television, like your Buffy or Dresden Files. They're all pretty trashy if you think about it, you know. So with that, we're just going to go ahead and get started.
Highly consumable.
Highly consumable. Cool. So unlike 5th edition, which we've been playing, or you guys have been playing, the system has a little bit more of an interactive, kind of collaborative character building piece. So we're going to go through that now, which will be a little different. So should be fun. Take your time and come up with cool stuff. So let's start by introducing our hunters here. So we'll go around the table. Just give us your name, kind of what you look like, what the other characters know about you. Maybe you guys have been together for a little while. You guys can assume that if you'd like, or if you want to be a relatively new member of the group, you can do that. Maybe they don't know very much about you at all. All within the bounds of this. This will be sort of an isolated thing. So get crazy. So who wants to go first?
Sure. I can start.
Cool.
You said we have to start driving, right?
Sure. Yeah, we are. So we can start there if we want. We can sort of start the mystery here as you guys are driving in. Are you driving? Caleb, is your character?
Yeah,
driving?
That's what I was.
Okay, what is your character driving?
Yeah. So
drive?
I'm driving a. It's an unmarked white van.
Okay.
Classic.
It is dirty. It has a lot of dents and scratches on the side, but you guys needed a ride.
Cool.
And so I picked you up.
Cool. So as we drive through the deserts of New Mexico, actually, together, all piled in one car, Caleb, why don't you start us off with your character?
My name is Archibald Brown. As when you guys, I see you needed a ride. You can get in the van. Don't worry. I know what's going on. Trust me. I know what's going on. When you get in, you'd see me. I'm sitting in my lab coat was dirty, so I just have a white bathrobe on right now. You can see under it is the logo for the greatest rock band of all time, Rush.
I'm disappointed there isn't like a wizard on the side of the van.
We're working on it.
Okay,
we're working on it. All right. In lieu of typical lab spectacles, I have safety goggles on my head, and you can just move whoever's sitting in that front seat. You can just move my binder where I detail everything that's going on, and it's just this massive binder that is duct taped together with just papers and like all sorts of newspaper clippings and like pieces of yarn and like paper clips and clothespins, and it's like there's clay pieces in there just all bundled up sitting there. Whoever moves it, even you probably have to sort of like heft it a little bit and set it down in the middle. The back space, there's some like random odds and ends, but it's mostly just kind of empty.
Okay.
How old are you, approximately?
I am old.
Okay.
Old. All right. That is a classification. Okay. So as the sort of camera here pans to you, Kevin, what do we see?
You see a pretty average-looking man in casual clothes with a bestial aura. No, I'm dressed like a high schooler. I'm wearing some cargo shorts and some, kind of like athletic-looking tennis shoes and a t-shirt, and I'm kind of just enjoying being along for the ride because I'm pretty sure that I cut class to be wherever we are right now.
Yeah, cut a lot of class.
Yeah.
So what's your character's name?
His name is Ned Stark.
Ned Stark. Okay.
Yes, his parents were very much like nerdy bookworms, and what they thought would go as like an under the radar inside joke for them was eventually syndicated into a very popular television show, which they
Bomber.
have since apologized to me for profusely. But I've been Ned my whole life, so I'm Ned Stark.
Okay. I dig it. And I'm sorry, Archibald, but we'll come back to you. But Kevin, what does the group know about you, Ned? Ned, what does the group know about you?
Assuming this isn't the first time we've road tripped for something like this together.
I at least would have been following you around for a while. I'll throw that in advance.
Okay,
like
that's fair.
tagging along, trying to follow you around.
Okay. They probably just know that I can change.
Okay.
It's probably approximately limited to this car of people
Okay.
who know that I can turn into
can
a
what?
wolf or werewolf.
Ooh. Okay. So you get like a hybrid form or like a full-on dog form, wolf form. Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. Sounds
Woo.
good. Woo. And where do you sit in the van as we're driving?
Definitely
horse?
shotgun, like the immature teenager I called it first. So.
Okay. So you're riding
Yes.
next to Archibald.
Yep.
Love it. All right. As the camera sort of pans to you, Stefan, what do we see? Who do we see and what do we see?
Do you want to do what we know about him first? Maybe let's go.
Oh yeah. We could go with you, Archibald. What do they know about you, Archibald? In general.
So you all would probably know me from around town. Most parents tell their kids to stay away from the old man in the unmarked white van. Wisely so. But you all have probably maybe chatted with me here or there and come to find that I'm mostly harmless. But I do, I have this massive collection of material that I'm just like I have figured out the way that the world works. It is layers upon layers upon layers of depth. There is way more going on than anyone could ever expect, but I have it sorted out.
Okay. All right. And so as the I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Okay. So as the camera pans to you, Stefan, who and what do we see?
They see name. Her name is Greta Convoy. She is a probably 50-some-year-old woman with sort of white hair. Wears a bandana sort of around her head, and then has her left eye covered by part of the bandana.
Oh, okay.
She's got like a 3-button shirt on that looks like has a grease stain on one side, and then just like cargo pants and some overalls, some suspenders.
Okay.
Carries her shotgun, a sword if she thinks she's gonna need it for depending on what kind of job we're doing, and and some of you that have been around a while may know that I sometimes bring along a flamethrower.
Okay.
You know that I also carry this book that is my family's sort of my mother and her mother before her were also sort of hunters that maybe not as out in the field hunters as I was, but they made a habit of cultivating a library and making notes and remembering things that people forget about the things we hunt.
I've watched Grimm.
Okay. Okay.
And then You would also know that, and you probably, unless there's a reason you wouldn't want to go, you would all have probably ended up at some point in what I have as a haven, which is I work in a library as the janitor, and there's a room that's just leaking gas that no one can go in. It's terrible. No one should go in there ever.
Yeah.
Only I have the key. I did a favor for for some of the staff that runs the library, so they let me just use the room, and it's sort of my sanctuary, my haven. I go there whenever I need more information, when I need supplies, and it's relatively safe.
Love it. Well, given that we're a little bit a ways from home
Yeah,
here,
I'm realizing that.
let's. How about we say that you've brought like a chest of whatever is most relevant to this,
Sure.
and it's in the back of this van alongside your flamethrower. And so while we're away, as long as you're around, your materials in this huge trunk, and it can be basically whatever you need can be in that trunk at any given point in time. And you feel enough at home here, and only you have the key to it. So
All right.
does that work? I think?
Yeah. Well, I said
it'll work
only had
great.
the key just in the sense that the library, no one in the library is going to inadvertently stumble into my room of occult nonsense.
Sure. Yeah.
What the hell? Is that
What the actual hell?
Yeah.
is that a dry pelt? What the? Drent? Sorry.
Love it.
Pee on it. It's fine.
Cool.
It's fine.
So
Your cousin?
as the camera pans to you, what do we? Who do we see, and what do we see?
So you'll see the 11-year-old boy, Barry Cobbler, and you'll know very much about him. He's wearing corduroy pants. He's got Velcro shoes on. They're the light-up ones. So the little bottom, but only one of them lights up correctly, and it's the left one. And it's a red color. And he's got a tatty button-down shirt with a plaid sweater over top of it. His hair looks very messy, very tangled. Like he hasn't had a haircut in quite some time. He'll have told you that he lived with his mother, but she didn't want to deal with him, so he went and lives with his uncle in the trailer park near town. But his uncle's never around, so he finds people to tag along with just whenever he can. And you'll also know that his incentive for this getting into hunting was when he was a few years ago. He had a pet rat that he really enjoyed, and the neighborhood bullies killed his rat
Oh,
in front of him.
oh man.
And he thought, what monsters, and it left just this shock and emotional scar on him.
On his forehead, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah.
Within him.
Oh, okay.
Well, if it looked like
Legally distinct scar.
Yeah.
And this motivated him to be able to deal with the monsters of this world. Unfortunately, once he started following, he thought that... Oh, shoot, Kevin, what's your name?
Ned.
He thought that Ned was potentially a bully and followed him around, and one time saw him transform, and that kind of led into everything now. And he's sitting in the back, just kicking. If there's something to sit on, maybe on the chest,
Okay.
kicking his legs, and you're like, when do you think we'll get there?
And every time you kick it,
Yeah, as far as relations go, it's like, oh yeah, close relations are distant. I'm super clearly kind of unwanted adoptive little brother energy, and then
Okay.
you kind of also the secret, so I also can't just actually get rid of you.
Love
But
it.
also you can cast magic, which is pretty handy.
Uh-huh.
do you have back seats in your van, or do you just have the front row?
I have back seats that are bungee corded to the floor.
Okay. Okay. All right. So as we move around
I've given my seat to the flamethrower.
to the flamethrower, okay. It has a seatbelt and everything.
Yeah.
Love it.
It has the fragile qualities. So volatile.
Weirdly enough, so do my seatbelts.
So as we come back around
You can't
to
sit up
your
front until you're 12. It says it right here on the airbag warning.
Hey,
That's right, it is.
I'm 12.
so as we make it around back
No,
to
you're not.
to you, Archibald, let's go through our history. So,
You're definitely old.
why don't you sort of go through and let's talk about sort of how you connect to the rest of the group here.
Yeah. Let me think here. I'm gonna go my way around.
Okay.
We'll see if I can get that same voice and how much my voice changes throughout this session.
It's going to take me a bit to make sure I remember the 11-year-old very common.
British.
Legally distinct British child.
It's very common.
Barry
There's
was
a whole
holding a
nation.
bottle.
There's a whole nation.
It's doing
There's a
history
whole
thing now?
nation.
Huh?
Is he doing the history thing? Is that what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Ned, are you? You were your screen name was Wolfman 76 on https ://www.cryptozoologynow.com. Right?
Okay.
That's we had a lot of good conversations on there. Nedward.
How's that sound, Ned? Are you maybe you sort of signed up just to, get some more information around, maybe tracking werewolf sightings, in a cryptozoological sort of sense, right? Like you got to make sure.
Yeah.
that-
Well, once I got bit, I had to find what the hell did this to me, and
Yeah.
and that was the.
All right, I like it. So that's how you two know each other.
I go around.
Yeah, one for
Okay.
everybody.
All right. Greta, remind me. I know they're supposed to be anonymous, but what was that group we met at?
The support group.
Yeah, the
Conspiracy
Yeah,
theorists
support group.
Anonymous.
I probably buy into into quite a few of your theories too. So maybe a little more reserved than you are, but I can see that. I'd buy that. Oh man, we should watch out for that.
Okay. I bet Archibald sort of runs the group, or something like that, some kind of support group, and Greta just showed up and
it's
dropped
a
in the back.
support group, really. I'm just recruiting.
Yeah. You're building a cult.
Yeah, you guys should really get some help, but also let's just talk about this weird stuff that's going on. And that Barry kid, he's somehow tied into it all. I've been keeping an eye on him. My unmarked white fan, just like they're pan to a scene of Barry with his backpack, just walking home from school, just Van 20 feet behind him the whole way.
The van is
dark
following.
turn.
The van is
I'm gonna
following
not
him
do this. I could make this so
while
bad.
he's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, the romantically obsessed one.
No, we have different. They're
Oh, okay,
slightly
okay.
different.
Yeah.
But yes, in that vein.
I've been seeing some weird stuff from that kid.
Yeah.
Weird talking to snakes.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
The white van
couldn't
stalking
be
20
me.
feet behind him, who's trying to follow me,
That's just like, why is
and I'm just going to the library.
Just like,
My
why is
light
that
up.
van 40 feet behind me?
My
Exactly.
light up Velcro sneakers.
Sneaker.
Just the
They're
left
both in that category. It's just only one word.
one. Just the left one.
Oh man.
So Ned, what about you? What's your connection to everybody here?
Well, I think I'll start with the little kid who was following me around and figured out what I am, who has sort of now imposed being a close relation upon me. So yeah, I think Barry Gobbler's just kind of this annoying little brother figure in my life, but also he's kind of a weirdo too, so it works out well enough.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Am I supposed to actually like pick from the bullet points here specifically, or?
Well, I mean, I guess you don't need to.
A lot of mine are like really intense, right? Like I tried to kill them and they stopped me, or like.
Well, maybe that's the
That's
case. I
sweet.
don't know.
Do it.
Yeah, no, maybe I was trying to, before I found my online group trying to track it down, maybe I just went to the actual factual library after I was originally bitten, and maybe that was like the first full moon or something, and I freaked the fuck out in the library and almost killed Greta, who is ironically was prepared
Okay.
to not be killed.
I have a move called preparedness.
There we go. So
I'm not
so
sure about
how did you stop the teenage werewolf who transformed in your library? Specifically says to ask you how you stopped me.
Well, this was like an aggressive, out of control.
Yeah, probably the
transformation?
first time was probably just like totally not so crazy but wild.
First, I basically locked you in one of the side study rooms so that at least you weren't causing more trouble. And then I filled the room with a sort of sleeping gas that made everyone hallucinate. And so they just kind of played the whole thing off that they all were seeing things. And I put on like this big black bear costume that was like for kids toys. And I like pranced around while they were all hallucinating. So the next morning, everyone's just like, "Did you see that last night?" "Oh yeah, just some woman was running around with this giant bear costume." Like everyone thinks they saw a wolf, but it's crap.
Yeah.
And at that night, after they had to, when the police were there and trying to evacuate, because I let up a gaseous fume, I let you sit out the window, at the back of the library, and got you home.
That's probably how you got your hideout too, right? That's probably where the gaseous fumes came from.
Yes.
You probably told the police that you barricaded
It's
it
all
off.
it's all tied together.
Yeah. I like it.
Oh, it's all tied together.
Yeah, and then Archibald Brown here. I imagine that we have a bit of a Marty and Doc Brown sort of vibe in that I'm kind of just like I don't know. I find many of your theories intriguing, even though a lot of them seem just completely ridiculous. There's even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So like the fact that you've been right a few times is like I'm sold. I'm sold on what you're selling, and when you call me because you're old, so you don't text. When you call me and tell me it's time to go for a road trip, I'm there.
Yeah, you got my letter then.
You think he's on the grid? Are you insane? I don't think so.
I mean, clearly it's a burner phone every time.
Yeah.
And he calls, he doesn't text. When
Cryptozoology.
it's a mystery number, it's either a
record.
telemarketer or him.
It's actually,
Cryptozoology.now.com. It's on the dark web.
I was gonna get to that.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is Kevin done?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you told
Did you all three? I don't know.
Yeah, that's all three.
Sweet.
Okay, so I was gonna say is that you went on the dark web to get my flamethrower. That's how I got it. I got it through you.
Oh, okay. I love it.
I called in. I don't know, a favor. I owe you a favor. I don't know, but I have a flamethrower now, and I'm really excited about it.
All right.
Let's see. So your thing. I was gonna say that you came to me for advice to get you out of trouble, and what was the trouble? Which
Yeah,
Found it.
yeah.
Found it.
Crypto fell into that one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say someone saw you transform, and I was like already thinking of like how we figured out how we got you out of that. So that works great there. And then I do try and cast spells every once in a while. I'm not innately talented with it, but when someone needs me to put up a ward and whatever, I can eventually get it right. I have books on this stuff, so eventually I can do the research and figure out how it works. And I don't know would you be the kind that would maybe come over and like hide in the library and practice spells?
Oh, absolutely.
But only in the
Don't
restricted
worry,
section.
I'll get exactly. I'll get more to it in a moment.
And like I haven't told you this, but I'm mostly helping you because I'm scared you're gonna accidentally burn something down if you don't
This
like figure out what you're doing.
this fits perfectly.
Love it. And that leads us to Barry. Barry Cobbler.
Yeah, so I'll start off with Greta. As she mentioned, Greta is the person that is my go-to. They act as my conscience when my power goes to my head. In fact, you should tell me about the last time that happened.
Stefan, just tell us all about our characters. How did
Well,
with the books.
You were practicing in my library. I gave you a very novice entry level book that was teaching things that were fairly harmless, like mild levitation spells, things like that. And you like before we started, you had gone and like reached for one of the spell books that you'd see me looking through, and I told you that was strictly off limits. You couldn't use that. Don't look at that one.
Absolutely.
As soon as I went to go get coffee, you immediately grabbed that book.
As most
After
would.
donning an invisibility.
Yes. And I of course came back to luckily only a small section of my library on fire.
Could have happened to anyone.
And just smoke billowing out from my door frame. I'm just like, God damn it.
Further building up the legend that is the gas leak secret back room that's always locked
This is
except
why
for you.
no one goes in there.
Well,
Very
it's
dangerous.
completely understandable.
And
And-
I taught you well, I didn't so much teach you, but like I was very angry with you, and you may have learned something about your things going to your head and not setting things on fire.
I definitely thought when I first saw you that you were more interesting than anybody else in the library. So when I saw you sneak into your room the first time, that was kind of how we came to know each other. Because I broke in, I was like, look at all this fantastic stuff.
There's a giant keep out sign on it. It's like, I can't read, so that doesn't apply to me.
I can't read.
But you probably can't read.
And realistically, we talked a little bit about how me and Ned knew each other, but it kicked off basically with a one-sided rivalry. It's old for me because I'm only 11, so I haven't been around that long. But it turned into a friendship. It was a rivalry initially because I thought he was one of those bullies, and I was going to teach him a lesson. But after I found out he was going through difficult, strange life like I am, we we ended up being
Like
just
I am.
great. We ended up being the best of friends. He wants to be around with me all the time. And then,
Sounds right.
And finally, I am convinced. After the one time that Archibald, I saw this magical white van that was following behind me. I went over to say hello because again, it seemed like there was just a fascinating person in there. And when I got there, I started talking to Archibald. Well, I saw him and I saw his goggles and the mystery and the magic behind him.
And the googly
And
eyes he had taped to them.
Exactly. It was superb.
They're protective.
It was absolutely superb. And I was convinced that he must have been my mentor from another life. Without a doubt. So I've tried to learn very many things from Archibald. In fact, just tell me one of those things.
You bastard. Wait, are you sure I shouldn't tell
Says,
him?
ask them what they taught you. Ask them what they taught you.
I have some of those too. Yeah.
I actually have an item under history where it says if someone asks you a question, you can redirect it.
No, you.
God damn it.
Reverse.
Well, redirected me because I didn't answer.
Roll to manipulate someone? No.
You might have looked through some of the book there and found some helpful stuff about your matter. Whatever, that doesn't matter. Tom Sawyer is the best song, bar none. That's what you learned. That's the most important thing.
Tom Sawyer's a
true.
book.
It's also a song.
Yeah, I just had to
Of
read
course,
that.
come on, Greta.
It was pretty dated.
Is that what's blaring as you guys drive down the street?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The audio book.
on a cassette.
Tom Sawyer.
No, Tom Sawyer by Rush. It's like on a cassette and it's stuck in your van and it won't come out, so it just
Yeah,
plays
yeah.
and repeat.
Yep.
I believe that covers everyone.
Love it.
So,
So as
Family Guy.
as the sort of camera pans away to see what's actually happening, does anybody have any moves that they wanted to do? Some people were talking about moves to set up some scenarios ahead of time.
Yeah, the
Maybe.
one that I have, which I rolled at the beginning of the mystery.
Yeah, which is the woman with a plan.
Yep.
Go for it. Roll sharp.
Wow, it's a bad roll.
Oh,
Do I
Yeah,
I'll
use
do
the
a luck.
luck.
Yeah, I'm using a luck on that.
Do
There's a luck to make it a 12.
Yep.
no risk
Okay.
scenario. Burn the luck.
It's really cool if I succeed and not
Do
good
it. This
for
is the
anyone
perfect time.
if I fail. So
Cool.
we're using luck for that.
So you have hold 2, and basically you can 2 times during the mystery be in the right place, prepared and ready.
Opposed to
That's
him,
worth.
opposed to him getting to choose to be in the wrong place.
That's
Whatever
right.
he wants.
Unprepared and unready.
Yeah.
So, anybody else have start of the mystery abilities or things that they need to be aware of?
No.
I just am a werewolf and I have a gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, you all have been a group for some time. Obviously, not too long, given that Barry's only 11 and is fresh out of the womb. But you've gone through a few
Very strange experience.
You off here.
different hunts or sort of investigations in the past, obviously leading to the connections that you have right now. But this specific adventure, the need to look into it, is something that Archibald, you're relatively interested in. You've been obsessed with living in Albuquerque, New Mexico, this close to places like Area 51 and conveniently Roswell, have always been obsessed with some of the strange going-ons here in Albuquerque and the surrounding cities here in New Mexico. And on one of your sort of late-night perusals of a dark web website or forum that you sort of troll through at night, got some information about a rare meteor shower that actually landed just outside Roswell, New Mexico, in a small town, a sort of desert town known as Nimoy, New Mexico. It's a small town. There's not much there, but there's a lab there that you have heard about, and that's how you gotten some of this information about this meteor shower. The sort of doctor, we'll put in quotes, had been had posted on this forum that they were investigating these strange happenings. A Professor Scott that you have met, Professor A. Scott. Indeed. So you gathered the troops, your ragtag hunter group. I suspect that probably you didn't anticipate all 4 or all 3 of your friends that are now with you coming with you, namely Barry. But he tugged along as well.
He told the both of us, and we got in the. You're just already in the back
Uh-huh.
of the
We
van.
start driving, and he's just like, "Where are we going?"
Where does your mother think you are?
Probably at my. She doesn't really care, but probably at my uncle's trailer.
In that cupboard under the stairs, under the trailer.
No, There's no
that
cupboard
where you
in
sleep
there.
at night. I mean,
So as the van drives down this sort of dusty desert highway, kind of abandoned out in the center of New Mexico, with Tom Sawyer blaring out the probably rolled down window, you
the passenger side only comes down like a quarter of the way down.
it's early. It's a long ways to Roswell. Probably a day or two travel, or at least partway through the day. And it's the morning, and you're not far from this town of Nimoy, a sort of ragtag desert town that almost seems frozen in time. Not literally, but sort of feels like it's frozen in time. They've got a small diner that is sort of reminiscent of what late Kennedy era sort of diners would look like, right? And a few other buildings here or there, not much in the way of sort of normal amenities in a big city like Albuquerque. But as the day comes upon, the morning comes upon you, you arrive in this town of Nimoy, which is, maybe 400 people tops, and drive by a few different buildings on your way to this diner that you are interested in, sort of finding the breakfast this morning as you sort of get ready, and potentially to ask around what's been going on. A Serling's Diner, just on the edge of town. You sort of pull up and get out. The diner itself is in like a silver trailer almost, right? With sort of the bright, sort of luminescent letters of diner, sort of now not really lit as it's morning as you're arriving. But there's a few cars out in this sort of parking lot as you all pile out of your weird, unmarked white van and in towards Sterling's Diner. The diner itself, like I said, is surprisingly retro, right? You would suspect that this place hasn't been updated in probably 40, 50 years. You can see that there are malt shakes and burgers sold here in addition to sort of greasy spoon breakfast food. There's a sort of silver rounded edged counter that sort of wraps around what looks like an open kind of kitchen that you can see. There's a woman that seems to be working here at this diner who is dressed in sort of a nice old retro kind of dress that she wears. You can see that there's a few kind of old people that look like they're townies sort of sitting at red leather circular sort of chair stools that are sort of like leaning on this table, drinking their morning coffee, flipping through the newspapers. But as you step inside, an old jukebox begins to play a song that you don't recognize. It seems to be kind of playing in the background, but it's old. You can tell it's like an old-timey sort of song from the 50s that seems to be blaring through the small speakers set in this place. But as you step in, there's a small little bell, and the woman behind the counter sort of looks up at you guys as you step inside and says, "Welcome to Serling's Diner. It's our little gem out here in the desert. What can I do for you?"
Are we eating? I'm definitely.
I'll tell you.
Can I get waffles?
Yeah, we'll just
You
need
give me
four.
Could you give me
Sure,
waffles?
sure, darling. Just take a seat. Sort of pull into a booth.
Do you have
That
maple syrup?
has this red. Oh, what was that?
Do you have maple syrup also?
Yes, I do.
I said so I can see the doors.
Couldn't
Okay.
wait in the van.
Well, you're gonna wait in the van.
No, couldn't eat. That's fine. Just take a seat.
Archibald, it's too hot for that.
Bloody air conditioning on the whole time.
As you sit
I want
down,
the All-Star Grand Slam, like the I want everything breakfast.
Okay,
That's what I'm
okay.
ordering.
All right.
And the biggest chocolate milkshake they have.
Okay.
And I have no fear about ordering gratuitous quantities of food because I'm reasonably confident that you are just perpetually, you always have a fresh scam credit card to use wherever we go, so that this is just not a problem.
The woman that's sort of taking your order, she has a small little notebook that she pulls out of her apron that she has with her sort of white paper hat that she sort of wears and her apron. She sort of writes down whatever you like. She sort of nods vigorously. She sort of looks to each of you.
Waffles for the kid. Strawberry or chocolate milk? Which one's better? Actually, one of each. Let's get both. I'll get a bunch of pancakes for myself. Do we just make it one of everything? Does everybody want to do that?
Can they put whipped cream on the waffles?
I'm sure they can. Extra whipped cream.
Do they also have cherries?
Cherries, berries, syrup, whipped cream.
Chocolate frogs.
We'll doll it up for him. Sure.
Exquisite.
I just want a black coffee and 2 eggs.
All right, we can do that. She sort of like flips her little thing down, puts him down. You can see that on her name tag, as you look up, it says Michelle on it.
Michelle with an N.
Yep. As she sort of turns quickly and lifts the counter and sort of slips through, and you see her sort of talking to the sort of cook in the window. As the cook looks up at her, sort of dings a bell, and she takes a couple plates and slides them out to a couple of the other patrons here.
Was Professor Scott? You said he's in Nimoy.
Yes, their lab is here in Nimoy.
Michelle. Hi.
Yeah.
Do you know Dr. Scott from town?
Well, yes, I know everybody in town.
Yeah. Does he come in here very much?
Oh, yeah, she'll be here every once in a while or so. Probably right around, I suspect dinner time.
Oh, dinner time. Okay. I thought this was okay. Yeah, dinner time. All right, so we just wait. Okay. Do you know where the lab is?
Oh yeah, of course. It's just through the town. If you head down through the sort of high street there.
It's probably lots of guards and people keeping an eye on it. Drones flying overhead. Maybe
No, not
maybe
really.
look like birds
Not really.
Any
You watch
birds?
too much TV.
overhead.
No,
Okay.
it's just a small lab on the outskirts of town.
There's this whole documentary that says you show it to me birds aren't real.
Oh, we don't get very many
It
documentaries out
changes
this
your-
way.
Do you want me to tell you about it? I can tell you all about it. I can show you the schematics from the CIA.
What's that? Did you hear that ding? And she sort of sort of turns around and moves towards the kitchen.
She hears the ding too. See, I told you it was real.
You also told me that you can't think well on an empty stomach.
Just this huge like rumble. I mean, that's just true though.
I know. He told me.
So as we get our food and start eating, so you just wanna you think we just head over to the lab?
I mean, that's
You think we can trust him like that?
means I would assume that we can't trust him until if we leave and he hasn't betrayed us yet, then yeah, we can trust him.
All right. Is anyone else of interest here?
Yeah, there's like I said, there's two patrons here right now. They're both sort of older gentlemen in kind of button-up plaid shirts with sort of trucker hats that they're wearing, and they're all sort of slumped over, they're sort of hunched over the table, kind of drinking coffee. And there's another one flipping through the newspaper this morning.
Hey, Barry. Barry.
What are we doing here again?
Put down the phone. I told you, they can track you through those. They probably know we're here.
Archibald, that's a Game Boy.
You see those guys over there? You think they can't track those? You see those guys over there? You wanna?
The ones in the kitchen?
No.
Yeah, they're
the
making
counter,
my
at the counter there.
What? Oh. What about
They
them?
look really friendly, right? You should go up and see if we do it, it's gonna be too suspicious. You should go up and see if they know anything about the meteor.
What meteor?
Well, I guess you're gonna ask them about the meteor.
Okay.
Meteor shower.
The meteor shower. Yeah.
There's.
If anything,
Well, all
land.
right.
If anything big landed nearby. If anything strange.
Did that
been
already
going on.
happen?
Didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like roll up my sleeve and there's like 4 watches all with different times on them and I'm like,
Yeah.
Will it happen again and we'll get to see it tonight?
Maybe.
Okay. I'll go over and see. I guess I'll go talk to those 2 strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
You walk over and the two older gentlemen that are sitting at the counter sort of slowly look in your direction. One sort of looks at you. The one that sort of flipped to the newspaper looks at you, and then quickly sort of shakes his head and looks back at his newspaper. The one who's drinking the coffee says, "Yeah."
Did you happen to catch the meteor shower last night?
The meteor shower. I didn't know there was a meteor shower. Rick, you know there was a meteor shower? And then the guy that sort of flipping through his newspaper sort of looks up and says, "Yeah, I heard that someplace, that there was another meteor shower outside of town. Don't know much about it, though."
What do you know about it?
Well, I know that it happened.
Wow. Truly smashing.
Yeah.
Get it?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, all right. Do you know whereabouts around town there would have been any impacts potentially?
I don't really know. I suspect that Professor Scott might know something about it.
Who's Professor Scott?
Oh, for fuck's sake, kid. Will you just leave me to my coffee, please?
In just a moment. I promise, sir. I'm very grateful for everything that you're telling me. I know it's early.
Yeah, let's say, yeah. Okay. He'll say, listen, I don't know much about it. All I know is that Professor Scott's out there and it's always going on. Whenever she comes in here, she's always talking about this new discovery she's found, this whatever. And I suspect if anything happens, she'll know about it.
Well, thank you, sir. I hope you enjoy your breakfast and your day.
At that moment, sort of Nichelle comes and says, "Oh, come on, darling, let's leave these gruff men by themselves."
Oh, they were absolutely delightful.
And you can see that she has a massive sort of tray full of pancakes that are sort of stacked to the sky.
With whipped cream.
With whipped cream,
Cherries.
berries, all kinds of stuff.
Very nice.
Milk syrup.
My brethren!
She leads you back to the table and sort of leaves all the food here and hands them out and says, "Will there be anything else?"
Milkshake?
Well, the milkshake's right here.
Barry,
sorry.
what were you asking those men about over there?
About the orange juice?
The meteor shower, yeah. Do you know this kid's real interested in the meteor shower? Do you know anything about a meteor shower or where they might have struck or any strange occurrences that might be going on or what kind of gamma rays are coming out of them?
Well,
Kid's really interested.
I don't really know anything like that. I'll tell you, it sounds like that sounds like some devil talk right there.
Do you think an actual portal to the underworld has opened up?
Well, I don't know. All I know is that Pastor Beckett, tells us that every morning, every Sunday morning, that we should keep to ourselves, and any of those strange happenings or anything that anybody says about any of that is the devil speak. So, I keep to myself.
And an orange juice, please.
Right away, dear. And she sort of hurries back behind the counter.
Did you finish that already?
No. There's just a lot of it.
When she turns to pull out a flask and pours it in my coffee, and then I offer it to you.
I'm driving. Let's try.
I'll scoot my door.
I'll pretend to.
This quickly is becoming just like the worst role model show for any child.
Listen, it was like, it was like less than a teaspoon. He's not even gonna happen. It's fine. Look how happy he is.
What would his absentee uncle say?
That's a very good question.
We may never
All right.
know. Now I'm finishing the giant milkshake. Can I get another one?
Archibald, as Ned
Breakfast.
says that, you notice that outside, the sky looks a little funny. It's early morning still, but there's this like weird. It almost looks like it almost looks like it's become kind of like twilight. Like the sky has gotten a little orange with hints of green in it. As you sort of look outside, it's really faint.
African sparkling. Just kidding.
But as you're doing that, Michelle sort of says, "Of course, dear, right away." And she sort of brings you an orange juice and your sort of milkshake again.
Do I feel poorly in this diner? That is named Sterling and looks like it could be made entirely of silver.
It's not Sterling, it's Sterling.
Oh, Sterling! I thought it was called
Yeah.
Sterling, and I'm like,
No,
oh, that'd be funny.
It's Sterling. Sterling's the
Is there anything about our waitress that looks like she has any religious iconography on her?
Yeah, why don't you roll something here? Why don't you roll sharp?
Perception?
Yeah, effectively.
Rolling sharp. An 8.
Nice.
An 8. Yeah. So with an 8, you do notice that she does have a necklace on that doesn't have a cross on it, but what looks like a like paint like a patron saint symbol on it.
Is it like a face or like a
Yeah, it looks like it's a little face, and you pick up on it being St. Jude.
Oh, ye of little face.
Interesting. All right. Yeah. Nichelle, I understand you keep your head down, but sometimes when your head is down, out of the corner of your eyes, you might catch glimpses of the sky. Do you find the sky particularly different today?
She sort of like leans out the little window.
Perhaps
you
as a
know, her
result
banner.
of a portal to the underworld opening underneath the town of Nimoy due to a
She-
meteor shower.
She says, "Oh, well, look at that. Well, you know, this area is frequent with summer storms and those weird little lightning, storms that just sort of happen. I wouldn't think anything of it.
It's summer
Well, yes, of course, it's summer.
in New Mexico. It would be too hot in the van for
It's-
that child. You were right.
Well, I guess it's not technically summer. It'd be right around June 5th, if I do say so myself.
Okay.
Shit, this is literally happening right now, guys. We get into Mexico.
There's a werewolf and a demon kid in a car.
Yeah, summer storm. That's most places the sky changes due to summer storms without any rain or wind or lightning or meteors with type 7 gamma radiation
you say
coming
so.
off.
Well, I don't know anything about any of that sciencey talk, but
Yeah, no, it's a swear word.
okay. She goes back to whatever she's looking. As that happens, you can see a small family that's going to come in and sort of make their way inside. She sort of calls to him, says, "Welcome to Sterling's Diner. Please take a seat." And she sort of she leads the family off into a booth on the other side. There are two little girls, a little boy, and a man, and what looks like his sort of partner, his wife, or some capacity. And they sort of sit in a small little booth table, and little kids are all excited, a lot like Barry is, but they're all younger than Barry.
Super jealous of his breakfast.
Wow, look how much whipped cream that kid has on his pancakes. Oh, cool.
You feeling all right with the sky doing this stuff? Huh?
What, am I sparkling?
I just sky doing weird things. I just want to make sure you aren't getting any extra hair. You know, about that age.
Archibald told me that it starts happening soon.
Oh my god. Archibald, we've been over this before. When I start to change, you'll know. And you see, I almost flourish my hand transforming into this, clawed paw and back real quick.
Except that one time in the library.
Are we doing tricks right now?
I imagine that was a while ago now.
Except that one time in the library.
Oh, we just put
Yeah.
that. Nope, we just put that away.
Okay.
I'm leafing through an almanac of just weather patterns.
You said
in the same
5
area
people
that I
walked
somehow-
in.
Yeah, five people.
walked.
Is there anything in this diner that smells particularly out of the ordinary to me?
Smells out of the ordinary.
As a part man, part wolf, part werewolf, I have a pretty good sense of smell. So is there anything that, beyond the delicious stack of pancakes and bacon and stuff?
You probably smell me and it's not pleasant.
That's disturbing.
You do smell. Make roll sharp.
We've been stuck in a hot car all day.
9.
A 9. You do smell something different. You smelled something when the door opened and the family came in.
Is it outside smell, or does it seem like I'm smelling them?
It smells like it smells like the outside smells.
Okay.
And as such, they sort of smelled.
I gotta go plug my phone in the van real quick. I'll be right back.
You realize that as you sort of look at your phone, your sort of impetus for that is you sort of look at your phone just kind of anxiously, and you realize that it's sort of like flickering.
They find you.
Do you show it to us?
Yeah, I probably show it to you because I'm imagining I have a good idea.
As soon as you look like you're hiding anything, I'm just like,
What the?
I look at my shoe.
I'm gonna go with you the car.
Your shoe is the same. You sort of like tap it, it sort of lights up, still the same.
Close call.
I think everything's working fine. I think it's just a you problem.
See, I stick a foot out from like the booth and stick it up so that you see it's still lighting up.
Oh my god. Yeah, basically, I guess if it smells weird, but I want to go outside and.
you want to go? You want to go outside? You want to go outside? Outside? You want to go outside?
Oh my god!
Yeah, let's go outside.
Excited.
All right, let's go outside.
All right.
Should we go too? Don't
Well, I'm pretty sure they think I'm your grandma, and if I just left you inside, it probably would have.
Grandparents, great idea.
Well, we have to add some story. If someone pulls us over, we have an unmarked van, 2 creepy old guys, and 2 teenagers. This doesn't look good. Okay, we have to have a plan. We have to have a story for this.
Who's
Okay,
the second creepy old guy? You and who else?
me twice, actually.
Her and the flamethrower.
With a mop on top.
Okay, so you guys are going outside. You staying inside?
No, we're also
We're all
going
going
outside.
outside?
Yeah.
Don't need to pay.
Wait, Archibald,
he's-
get the bill.
No, I'll let you go outside. We'll tidy things up here, and I for some reason in my head I'm definitely sitting on the outside of this booth that we're in, so I get up and let you get out. So, yeah.
I'm sitting on the outside so that he can't just run away.
Seems reasonable. So,
I'm sitting
when
on
he
the
picked
outside
the
probably
shoe
so
up
I
and
can't
just
run
like
away.
put his foot up
Yeah.
on the window of the diner to show
Basically.
us them lighting up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. As you guys sort of get up to leave and head out the door, a woman sort of pushes past you as she just sort of is coming in through the diner. She doesn't say much, but sort of just steps inside, kind of pushes by. As you guys are like reaching for the door, sort of the door opens and kind of step aside as she kind of walks through, and you can sort of follow her out, but or sort of head out the front door if you wish.
Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah.
Quite all right.
What's that?
Yeah, you go outside. Van's out there. There's that same weird color has gotten like pale now, and you can see that there's this like weird like fog that seems to almost be rolling into town a little bit. It's weird. Just faintly kind of happening.
So I see that and then go through the classic like, oh, I might have seen a movie like this, and then kind of like panic a little bit, and or I guess scent wise out here, is it anything out of the ordinary?
I mean, you certainly smell the whatever that smell was before.
Right, which is like not regular smell of outside. I assume.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not just fresh air.
that's why it was
Huh.
different.
No, I'm just like possibilities are running through Ned's head.
I'm gonna.
Can you see the changes in colors? Do you still have color-based vision?
Yes.
Okay. I never got to ask you that.
I'm gonna jump in the back of the van and start looking through books about similar weather phenomenon and taking out gadgets that measure radiation and EMF or frequencies and changing the radio to see if we pick up anything weird and all kinds of just like trying to figure out what's going on.
Let's
Yeah.
let's. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I would go back in and be like, it's getting weird. No, but tell them the fog rolling in and the weird smell. And
I'll settle up the bill.
as you sort of begin to pay your bill, as they sort of leave, you see this woman sort of walk in, and she's kind of a younger woman. She's probably in her 30s, maybe. Has brunette hair. It's sort of tied up into a bun. She was wearing like a hood, probably to keep sand and debris and stuff out of her hair. She sort of pulls it back a little bit. It's like a little bit of a cloak thing. It's warm, but she takes it off, and you notice that she has a small lanyard almost that's sort of around her neck, and you can see on it. It looks like it says sort of Dr. Alexandra Scott on it. And she rolls up to the counter and takes a seat at one of the sort of stools. And Nichelle comes up to her and says, very sort of matter-of-factly says, "Oh, Professor Scott, good to see you this morning. What can we get for you? We don't normally see you in the morning." And the doctor says, "Yeah, well, busy day, and I wanted to kind of get a breakfast and a little bit of food in me before I get back to the lab." And Nichelle says, "Sure, right away. The usual? Yeah, that would be great." As Nichelle sort of walks away.
And I run up to her and say, "Are you Professor Scott?"
Yeah, I guess I am.
Oh my.
I let him go ahead.
I've come here looking for you, actually.
Really?
Yes. I've heard that
Okay.
you know all about the meteor shower that happened last night.
Sure. I do.
Well, tell me all about it.
I'm pulling out bills and coins to pay this.
She just says, meteorites fell from the sky, most likely debris from various sort of comets and meteors that get close to Earth just sort of fall through the atmosphere and land. They're pretty cool.
Did they result in a portal to the underworld?
Portal to the underworld.
Not this. I'm paused on the check, just like.
Not that I'm aware of.
What about any other? Did any monsters drop with them?
No. They're small.
Are you quite positive? Small
yeah,
monsters, perhaps?
No, the meteorites.
Oh. I don't know what else to ask you.
I'm sorry about my grandson and his
Grandson?
antics. As you say that, I just squeeze your shoulders a little bit, he's so interested in space and astrology
and magic
and science. It's all magic, all the science is magic until you can explain it.
Sure.
Right, I'm sure. Did you say that I had talked to Professor Scott online?
Yeah, maybe you've talked to her on the forums or seen that she posted.
Okay.
Imagine you've strictly internet stalked this person, but don't actually know them.
Yeah. I suppose with the meteor shower here, for someone like yourself with a laboratory nearby, that would be quite interesting to study something like that.
Yeah, are you interested in cosmological events?
Oh, well, for the sake of the boy, sure, I like to share interest with him.
Yeah.
Do you could you tell me, for his sake, anything that might be interesting about it, as opposed to other astrological events that might have occurred in the most recent 5 to 10 year period?
Yeah, why don't you, because of how absurd this conversation is, why don't you try and manipulate her here. Go ahead and roll charm.
Can I use my see it all fits together to use sharp instead of charm when manipulating someone?
That sounds perfect.
Great. 8.
An 8. Okay.
Students continue to come in clutch.
She sort of frowns as you say that, and sort of looks in your direction, and says, Crypto Freak 86?
Maybe.
She says, well,
I'm Cobbler Kid 99.
she says,
you're 24 years old.
yeah, I actually, I've been studying the meteor showers that happen in this area for a number of years now. Last night was one of the most intense, I suppose. But yeah, what did you want to know?
I thought it was in the sky, not intense.
I just thought I noticed some potentially strange occurrences that might have been taking place. I Caleb forgot what it was about the. Did you mention what it was about this meteor shower that led us here?
No, just that meteor showers sort of frequent here.
Okay.
And she had talked about how she had found something interesting in the meteor showers.
Okay, gotcha. It sounded like there might have been something peculiar about this one, and the sky is changing colors in a way that I would not have predicted using my model.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about the sort of meteorological sort of breakdown of this area, I suppose. I don't exactly study that, but I can say that I did find something interesting in the meteorites. She sort of leans forward, kind of looks back and forth.
I lean in
says-
under, like I'm down low though, but I lean.
She says, I found red matter.
Do I know what that is?
No.
Okay. Red matter. That's not good. For the boys' sake, why don't you're probably better at explaining this sort of stuff.
Well, I'm not quite sure yet. But I do know that it gives off strange properties.
Are you sure it didn't just land on some wildlife?
Gives off strange properties. So it's a generous real estate mogul.
My pet rat got smashed by bullies' rocks once. There was red matter on the rock.
Oh boy.
Well, I can tell you that it was inside the meteorite.
2 rocks.
Did it seem biological in nature?
Not necessarily.
Did it try to psychically communicate with you?
Not that I'm aware of. You see that her distance, her distance, like, yeah, she just you look like she just has no idea.
All right.
Maybe Greta has other ideas.
Where are you at?
I'm in the back of the van, hitting the books, as it were,
Okay.
about this weather phenomenon.
Sure.
Okay.
Just frustratedly, just stupid, fucking useless books.
Why'd I bring the wrong one?
I'll be right back.
I brought all the books on dark matter, not
I
red
run outside. You probably look somewhat bewildered by the smell when I run outside.
Yeah, probably.
And I don't acknowledge it. I just keep running and run to the van and start banging on the side of it.
What?
Greta!
What?
Greta!
Open the door.
Greta!
Crack.
Greta!
What? I have a book in my hand. I have like one headphone out, only on one ear, and I'm holding a device up towards the ceiling of the van. What?
Whoa. We found Professor Scott. Professor Scott is inside.
I'm actually like ripping everything off and like crap shit and just
Hurry!
like I follow him inside.
Okay. So as you do that,
I
what are
will
you doing?
also
Ned?
return inside.
Okay.
My
You notice when
photos.
you plug your phone in to charge it, were you actually doing that or no?
That was a ploy to go outside.
Okay, never mind. Were you using your ability specifically there?
I was using
Or-
Well, I was using I was hitting the books so that if I do have to roll
Okay.
investigate the mystery
Okay.
pertaining to the weather, I get a +1.
Okay,
theory.
cool. Yeah. All right. So as you all, Barry, as you grab Greta and head inside, Ned, as you sort of follow behind them, they sort of slam the doors. And as you sort of shut your door and go to kind of follow them inside the diner, you notice that it's sort of remarkably sort of overcast now. That sort of color that was in the sky has kind of faded for the most part. It's still sort of hinted there. And the sort of fog that has sort of rolled in to town seems to be getting a little bit worse. As if more and more fog had kind of rolled in the sort of 20 minutes or so you guys were outside.
One question for if I notice anything based off of them talking about how it's weird outside,
Yeah.
can I like try to determine if it seems like it might be magical?
Okay. So why don't you cast detect magic. Why don't you roll a sharp, I guess that would probably be sort of investigate a mystery, or if
Yeah.
you have magic that you want to try and do.
No, so I could have taken something that would have given me on investigating a mystery. You could ask what magic was done here for free, but because I did not take that, I cannot do that.
Okay.
That's the premise.
Well, you could
of
do
me
it with
wondering if I
a
could
hold, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Investigating a mystery. It could be an 8, but I'm gonna burn a luck and make it a 12.
A 12. Okay, so you get hold 2. So what would you like to ask? Did you want to ask about the magic?
I would like to ask, if it seems like there is a magical effect going on here in some capacity.
No.
Okay.
What would make
No,
sense?
it's not really a magical effect.
Roll insight. 16.
Do I think it's more of a Silent Hill fog or the fog?
Does
the
it
fog?
say? I guess if I could ask a second question.
Sure,
about
you
that.
can. You get hold 2.
Does it seem like the fog is like surrounding the diner with the diner as an epicenter?
Good question. It does not seem like the fog is surrounding the diner necessarily. It looks like it has, or is in the process of engulfing the town,
Okay.
which isn't very large.
And we are on the outskirts.
You're on one of the edges of the town, yeah.
Okay.
Something is real weird outside. I don't know if this is like Silent Hill fog or the fog, but
What are those
movies.
about weather?
Sort of.
And one of them's quite quiet.
And elevated.
The hill's
I
quiet.
like look outside and finally see that the fog is like rolling in.
And it just doesn't smell quite right out there.
Sorry.
I'm gonna. Me, Caleb, will assume that late morning, New Mexico in June, not super fog heavy, and make the assumption that any fog really is probably super weird here.
It's got a greenish yellow tint to it too.
Oh.
Given thick as pea soup, really sort of on the nose feel.
You mean peanut butter?
Could I have done an investigate to try and learn about what would cause these kinds of phenomenon?
Yeah. Did you want to? Yeah. I mean, I will. I'll give you sort of two options here if you want. So you can investigate the mystery if you'd like here, or you can use one of your hold and say that you have sort of a kind of enough information to answer that question for you if you'd like.
A hold from the beginning of the session?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'd rather roll.
Okay, go for it.
Plus 9 total.
A 9. Sure. And what did you want to ask?
Just do I have to ask one of these questions here?
Effectively, yeah.
What can do it? Oh no, it's what can it do? I can't read. What can it do? Be foggy.
Obscure vision.
What is being concealed here?
The town.
What is being concealed here?
Duh.
I don't know that one really applies here.
Then I guess what? Well, do I get another one, or is that
Sure. No, I'm not gonna just sort of take it away.
Okay. Then what happened here?
So it looks like it looks like this sort of fog has rolled into town, continues to get worse and worse, which I've already sort of mentioned. But it almost seems to be it looks like it has been originating, as much as you could tell, from the eastern part of town.
Okay.
Did we come from Texas or Arizona?
You came from Albuquerque, which was northwest of here.
This Professor Scott.
Yeah.
Does she has she seen out this window?
Yeah, we can say that you've both been looking out the window now.
Is this normal here?
No.
Is this the first time that this has happened?
It's the first time I've seen it.
Yeah. Okay. Your lab, you said was in. I believe I saw on a map somewhere. It's on the eastern side of town. Is that right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Should we head over it? Should we head over that way? Or
for what?
to this fog, maybe seems strange, right? It's green, which is the complete opposite of the color red. This fog does not seem to be made out of any matter in particular, as opposed to the state of substance that you found in the meteor. So this seems like maybe the counterpoint to the red matter. We have green non-matter here, and it seems like it might be connected in some way.
Why are they talking about what's important? And what's
Sure. I mean, we can investigate. We can head towards my lab, I guess.
why does the red matter but the green doesn't?
Sure. You notice that Nichelle doesn't really know what to do at this point, as all this is kind of happening.
Just keep your head down.
Right.
Maybe literally.
I don't know.
You see her kind of rubbing her sort of pendant that she has, as Professor Scott says, "Yeah, let's go now."
Yeah, you can have shotgun.
Oh, okay.
I put
Nice.
it on the what was it, Michelle or Nichelle? Was it
Nichelle, yeah.
Nichelle. I'll put a hand on like her hand.
Don't worry. I'm sure everything is going to be okay.
And cast bless.
Cast blast.
Heck yeah, bro.
Blast. You sort of blast her into next week.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Thank you.
Got her.
You all head outside and pile into your van, the Rushmobile, as you all kind of pack up. Professor Scott sort of gets in the passenger seat. At this point, as you sort of pull out of the driveway onto one of the roads that sort of leads through the town, you notice that the fog has gotten pretty intense at this point. It's hard to see. You sort of turn your bright lights on. You're sort of losing sight of where things are. But you do your best sort of listening to Professor Scott sort of direct traffic or direct you towards her lab. Because you're driving, why don't we have you roll Act Under Pressure?
Sorry, Rush is so loud, the volume's broken. It's just stuck at this level.
Turn off the brights and turn on the fog lights. The brights make it worse. Can I help out?
Yeah, sure. So roll cool.
That's what I was hoping.
6.
6. Okay, market experience.
Look at me go.
I'm going to be very lucky while I drive.
Okay. Okay. So, as you sort of wheel and deal through this town, you head to the lab. And it takes you a little while to sort of steer through the lab. Nothing's really happening here. It's hard to see even, sort of past 5 feet in front of you. But you arrive at this lab. It's sort of a small building that as you sort of hop out of the van, you can see that the door to the lab sort of swings open, and there's like an assistant, like a lab assistant that's there. It's a young gentleman. As he sort of comes out to you, he goes, Professor Scott, do you have any idea what's going on here? She says, no, I don't. Come on, get inside. And as you move through past the sort of past the van in towards the building, you notice that the assistant is in the back, and you hear a shout coming from behind you. And as you sort of turn to look instinctively, you notice that this assistant has been something has sort of lashed out of the fog. A sort of long, sort of thin, looks like an elastic sort of thing, and wraps around his stomach. As he sort of looks up wide-eyed, you see him just all of a sudden, in an instant, get ripped into the fog. And as that happens, Alexandra sort of shouts, says, get inside! As you all sort of move to slam the door behind you. You can hear what sounds like this faint sort of like chittering sound coming from faintly, like muffled against the door.
Okay, so the fog.
Yeah, fog. What the fog are we gonna do now?
We're fogged.
Could
We're
somebody
real
please
fogged.
explain what the fog is first?
It's what you call fog when it's yellow.
There's a movie called The Fog.
Okay.
It's got fog, and there's monsters in the fog.
Okay.
As opposed to Silent Hill,
I pull
which
out my
city
wand
has a lot of
and my
fog.
revolver.
Alexandra, the professor, sort of looks at your gun and is just like,
Oh, too much. Sorry. I have a big gun away.
I know we talked about the gun earlier, but I heard that very separately from I'm an 11-year-old.
I pull out the gun and the revolver.
Bad enough that he
Barry,
can do
what are you
magic.
doing?
Oh,
No, Barry, you keep
Barry,
that right.
Barry,
You keep that in your hand.
You
Yeah.
hold like this. There you go. That's how you keep it good from grip.
Yep.
Watch the hammer.
Finger,
on
finger
the gun
off
or
the
on the
trigger
wand?
for now.
on the gun.
All right.
I like to think you're also correcting his grip on his wand like this.
Oh, he had a
like
wand.
this,
He
you
has
know,
one now too.
Keep
Yeah.
the safe. Keep
Okay.
the
I use the
safety off
wand
the
to cast
wand.
kill.
No,
Use
he-
the wand to pull the trigger.
He's better at magic than I am. I'm correcting his gun grip. I pull my gun. No, I don't. Okay.
No, to pull out a gun.
But
No,
I-
gesture with it.
I
Put your
did.
finger there.
I did grab my flamethrower and my sword when we got out of the van, though.
Okay.
Yeah, and as we get out, I would have sort of pulled up the matting in the back where you normally keep a spare tire, and on top of the spare tire is just a hunting rifle, and I just grabbed that just in case.
I like to think my flamethrower is a disguise. It's one
You
of
see
those
me grab my werewolf
those
costume.
leaf blowers that are backpacks.
Huh?
And it's just yeah, it's just a leaf blower, guys. Don't worry about it. It's fine. That's just a pilot light for the. It's a leaf blower. Don't worry about it.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. Come on.
You said red
Tiddly
matter. I just like to take out the thing, and I'm just like flipping through it.
She sort of leads you down this hallway into a small, sophisticated lab. You can see that there's a large number of sort of electronics, devices, screens in here, and you can see that on a table there is a large sort of glass box that sort of sits up on the table itself, and there is a microscope that is pointed towards what looks like a small, maybe fist-sized rock that you assume to be some elements of this meteorite. And it has sort of this faint reddish sort of, what do I want to say? I don't know, material inside of it that is sort of made up of.
Does it look solid or liquid?
It doesn't look liquid. It looks somewhat solid. As she brings you in, you notice that she sort of pulls out all of these paperworks, all these charts and things, and sort of pulls a screen down as she sits at a table and begins sort of typing feverishly on the computer that she's at. And she says, I don't know what's happening, but I don't understand how this, whatever it is, this red matter could have affected any of it. These meteor showers have been seen in this region for years. I built my lab to study it.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to I figured there's more stuff in a lab and maybe more protection in a lab than a diner.
There were people in that diner.
Yeah, there's at least 7 of them.
And hopefully there still are.
Okay. Yeah. Right. They're fine.
Yeah, I mean, you saw my van. I don't know. I mean, when we were at the never mind. Do you have any ideas?
Does this creature sound? Can I roll knowledge check to know if these creatures sound familiar? Is anything about this creature sound familiar? Anything I've read about? Anything I've hunted? Anything that someone in my family's hunted?
You're not 100% sure in terms of what this thing could be, but it looks it looked and it felt alien in nature.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of books on things off-world, and I mean, it's been known to happen. There have been some sightings, but everyone's different. Hard to say what it might be.
Alien. Maybe, I guess. And you see her sort of typing feverishly.
There's no fog in the lab, right?
No, none that you see.
Did it feel like it was getting more dense the whole way to the lab?
Yes.
Okay. And does Professor Scott or the assistant or anyone that we might have passed in this lab, have I seen any of the religious iconography, like the pendant?
Yeah, why don't you go and roll sharp for that?
Sure.
Again.
10.
A 10. You do not.
Okay.
You do not. The only person you saw with any sort of religious iconography was Nichelle.
Okay. Did I pass a church on the way here?
You didn't see one.
Okay.
But you could hardly see through the fog.
Very foggy.
Yeah.
Is there like a phone, like a landline in here that we could use?
A landline. It's 2023.
Smart boy.
I have a cell
Track
phone.
you.
And she sort of picks it up and hands it to you.
Similarly flashing.
It's not flashing, but it doesn't turn on at all.
Oh. That's worse. Pull out my phone.
Yeah, it doesn't turn on.
Okay, still worse.
Some sort of EMP situation, but the computers are working in here, right?
It looks like it, yeah.
What the hell? It makes no sense.
I mean, it could be messing with, like,
Battery powered devices? Oh.
maybe, or like radio waves rather than just any electronics or something.
I'm sure this station has some sort of transmission capability.
Yeah, I think we have an old AM/FM radio someplace. With some, local level communication capability. It's in the storage room. Let me grab it.
Well, actually, hold on. Can I just see if I have it on me?
Yeah, what does this do?
Preparedness. When you need something unusual or rare, roll it and see if I just have it.
Yeah, go for it.
That's roll pretty well to just have it, though. Well,
That's a good roll.
what do I add to this?
Cool.
11. So, yeah.
An 11?
On a 10 plus, you have it right here, right now.
Yeah, you have sort of like
radio. Me too.
you have like a satellite radio that you pull out.
Is it working?
Yeah, you sort of dial. It sounds like there's a ton of feedback. There's like everything's kind of garbled, but as you sort of twist it and turn it, you can hear a voice coming through eventually that sort of is, and you stop it for a second, and the voice becomes a little bit more clear, and it just says, "Tower-wide emergent announced for everyone stay in creatures." And as you sort of like twist and turn through it, you eventually hear the sort of message that sort of is there, and it's sort of repeating on a regular basis. And it effectively says, "This is Sheriff Willoughby announcing a town-wide emergency for Nimoy, New Mexico. Stay inside your houses or in any building. Keep the doors and windows shut. Creatures are roaming."
I'm gonna make sure everyone caught all that. Well, it works.
That's good.
But apparently, yeah, those people in the diner may not be doing so well. Let me try and get to the bottom of this.
Well, you've got your leaf blower. Should we go get them? There's a lot less windows in this building, or smaller windows.
And then when are we going to get the other 395 people out of their homes and gather them up into the safe and secure location of where?
Well, I would guess the best place to sort of hunker down, I guess, would be the hardware store. I mean, they'll have all kinds of sort of materials and weapons and resources that could potentially help anyone in an emergency.
I think she might have most of those.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but can we stop?
any members of the town that aren't your one-eyed friend here.
Hey, I have 2 eyes. Okay, this is in case it gets dark. This one's not exposed to the light, so if the lights go out, I can flip this eye open and then see better.
Right.
You look
I love
confused.
it. It's so
I am very confused.
Are you gonna be okay in a hardware store?
You know what I'm talking about?
given
Like
how you feel about where?
It would be difficult, but I'll be able to be there.
When the lights are off, like,
It'll be tough.
You adjust to the dark.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Oh, she does.
I was just like, I was so surprised at how quickly you sort of rattled that off. I was
Okay. Gotcha.
This was like I just love that whatever that was like initial character description. You were like, just in case it gets dark, I'm prepared.
I mean, literally.
no, it works.
Library prepper.
But there may be quite a few people there. If you were looking to help the town, that might be the best place to be.
Are we?
Were you? Did you have any kind of like organic things sitting in this compound that may have grown?
No, not as far as I know.
I would like
There
to.
were.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I would like to go and take a closer look, without touching the
The curse.
the red matter in the rock.
Yeah, sure.
Does it try to psychically communicate with me?
Not immediately.
Okay. I try to get a look through the. I put my protective goggles on. And I walk up to the microscope and realize I can't get a good look. So I pull them up and I just sort of.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and roll. I guess investigate a mystery or something.
Sure.
That's what it is. We're rolling a lot of that
In
today.
your ear, you hear, "Take me to your leader."
I don't know who that is. It's probably the.
It's Greta. All right.
We'll take the 8.
Okay. What would you like to know?
What can it do?
Okay. So, not quite, not literally relevant, but I'll get you something close. In that it's very clear as you're sort of looking through it that this matter, whatever it is a is a piece, at least vaguely, of sort of what looks like or what you expect to be sort of trans-dimensional, extra-dimensional matter.
It's a literal fourth dimension launch. The seeds, Morty, the seeds.
Yeah, this is what I thought. Greta, how much do you know about fourth dimensional constructions and the things thereof?
What do I know about fourth dimensional constructions and the things thereof?
I don't have any idea. I mean, nothing overtly. Do you have some way to have known?
Not. I
what that
mean,
is?
not unless it's in my library. I read it at some point. Not. I mean, I'd have to jump in the truck and try and see if I can find anything, but nothing's come top of my mind.
Professor Scott, So this is fourth dimensional matter here.
I thought so. How would it have gotten here?
Probably through the other three.
Nice.
Take a point of harm for that.
What do you what do you know of its properties?
I don't know anything of its properties. We've just begun to sort of understand it. It's a strange matter that seems to be what we thought to be originating from a distant realm outside of our own. It has strange. It doesn't have sort of strange properties in and of itself necessarily. Something else is happening here.
So we haven't ruled out opening up a portal to the underworld. Just want to clarify.
We also have ruled out like Nazis or like Russia.
True.
You know, it could be.
True.
Shock,
Yep.
shock
that's
trooper
oh, it's-
Nazis from the moon.
Oh, it's in here. Believe me, we have not ruled it out. Well, and there's no fog in the lab, so we can assume then that
Yet.
that it's not originating from this, but mayhaps something is aggressive, seeking it. You've never seen it before? This
Seen what?
fourth dimensional material?
Not as far as I know. I mean, it's been. This is the first time where we got a sample large enough that I could study it.
Yeah, so it seems like it might be pretty rare then. Something might be coming after it.
Or it let something come through because it was here.
Underworld. Exactly.
So how are we gonna get rid of this thing? I'm thinking everyone's locked inside. I don't know what it wants, but it went after that one person we saw in the hallway, right? If it's after people, and we all run out, get in the truck, head to the hardware store, maybe we draw its attention, we take it out.
Are we sure there's just one?
I mean, no.
It sounded based off of the radio broadcast that there might have been multiple.
I mean, the fog was everywhere. That's why I assumed you told everyone to go inside. But yeah, that's fair.
But even so, if we draw them all to us at the hardware store, at least we can set up some kind of either funnel or some traps or something for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the use magic things on here is bar a place or portal to a specific person or a type of creature. I'm assuming that means like when it says bar a place to a specific type of creature. Is that like you could magically ward a location to something? Is that
Theoretically, yeah.
Okay.
Put a little lock on
But we don't know what the type of creature is yet.
So
Clearly aberration, right?
So
It's
we
all
need,
technically.
we need to figure out where it's coming from.
It's an outsider.
Well, that's only because you're inside.
And also,
Bingo.
if it is creatures, another thing that we can do with magic is trap a specific person, minion, or monster via magic. So that's also an option.
Well, then what do you guys think we should do? Should we give this more in the lab?
I don't
where it's
know.
coming from?
What's that? It's,
How about
sounds like Ned's idea is to just send the kid out there. Wave a stick around. Probably work itself out.
Oh, I have some some of those like those things you snap and they glow at night. The kids love. Put it on the end of the stick. Really draw some attention.
We're naming Barry Angler.
well? And then what?
Well, we're not actually doing this. Don't worry.
Okay.
Wait,
What happens when it tries to kill me?
Listen, when his mother comes calling and I was the last person to see him, I don't want to have to answer that. All right.
It's your fault for having a phone.
She knows I'm in the library. Okay. She knows I work there.
So I want a way to figure out where this thing is, where this might be originating from.
Where what might be originating from?
The creatures, really.
Okay. Yeah. I guess you could go ahead and roll investigate there for that one, unless you have something else.
I'm gonna look for a lucky break here on where these creatures might be coming from.
Okay. So you you spend time with the professor, sort of going over charts of sort of magnetic kind of energy and things like that that's sort of emanating from the lab nearby, just going over her devices and her charts. And it takes some time to do that. So while they're doing that, do you guys want to do anything?
Yep.
What are you guys doing?
I am gonna use magic to
Ooh, okay.
observe another place or time.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Now the real question is, do I want to observe? There are three options here. I could observe the diner. I could observe the hardware store, or I could observe an hour before we arrived here in the meteorite that we are at, or the lab itself. Preference.
So believe it or not, I, while not quite as naturally gifted as you, I'm also, I don't know, it comes kind of naturally on occasion. So if you want to scope out Crazy Red Rock, I can try and look at the diner and see if they're okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we're both going to try and use magic
Yep.
to sort of see. You're going to check the diner
Yeah.
currently, and you're going to check what?
I want to. I don't know. So it says time, right?
Yeah.
Observe another place or time.
Sure.
I would like to observe, honestly, when the meteor shower came down in the town,
Okay.
or probably an hour after it finished, after the meteor shower finished.
Okay. Okay. Why don't you go
If
ahead and roll
possible.
weird then? Yeah, both of you.
You re-roll those though.
We're going to see how the diner's doing.
Here's
now.
the real question. Do I want to burn a luck, or
So I have burnt a luck on mine. It's not
You
to
know
say
what?
that we can't go for the.
you know what? It could have been worse. So
Which is what?
When you miss a use magic roll, you can choose one of the following options instead of losing control of the magic.
Okay.
The effect will happen,
Uh-huh.
but I trigger all of the listed glitches but one. And I pick the one that we avoid.
Okay.
You rolled double ones?
Yep.
Oh my god.
So all of the glitches are going to trigger except one of them.
Please make it take one harm.
To ignore.
It's like everything else goes wrong, but you're fine.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep, I'm gonna not take the harm.
Okay, not take the harm.
Yep.
Okay. Ned, you rolled a what?
11.
An 11.
Yeah.
Okay. So your magic works without issues. You're able to cast your spell. It takes you time to cast a spell. Gazing through realms, right, through time and space, is a very tricky spell. And so it takes you quite a bit of time to sort of cast this spell.
Do you have a bathroom in this place? I asked to Dr. Scott.
Yeah, she sort of like looks over her shoulder and points.
Cool.
To the bathroom.
Just go sit on a toilet in a stall and do this.
Okay. It's a small personal bathroom, so you keep up. If you do that, you do it. You tie up the bathroom for everybody. Nobody can use the bathroom in the hour that it takes you to cast the spell.
It takes an hour? Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Hot. That.
Wowzers.
But. Okay. I didn't think it could take that long for regular
It will.
magic.
It will.
Well then. I won't take an hour to do that, I guess.
Well, it's okay. It'll take him an hour to look through his stuff too.
Okay. Then,
Took you guys an hour to sort of do a bunch of research and
Yep.
cast your spells.
Yeah.
That's fine. I was just making a joke that you're casting this from the one toilet in the building, so no one can use the bathroom for the next hour.
We just went outside.
Okay, so you cast your spell. You cast yours. So, and you want to see this effect, or this area,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So
Back in time.
Back in time. Okay.
Because it says a place or time.
Yeah.
Not place and time.
Trying to think exactly what happens. We'll do yours first because I'm not quite sure what happens with yours.
Yeah, me either.
Now you cast it on the
Diner.
itself. Yeah, the diner looks fine in terms of the place isn't sort of completely destroyed. You sort of your vision kind of disappears from this place and fades into the area in the diner. You can see that there is a bloody handprint on the window where you guys were sitting on the outside that has sort of streaked down as if someone had been sort of attacked from the outside of the window. You can see that Nichelle is kind of hunkered down behind the bar, frantically praying. You hear her sort of kind of mumbling under her breath some kind of prayer to whatever sort of faith she follows.
St. Jude.
St. Jude, but some capacity. In addition, you see that the two older gentlemen are talking to one another, along with the small family that was there. And the gentleman says, "The sheriff just sent a long-range radio message that everyone's to gather in the hardware store. They're going to mount some kind of defense or something. They say that they've got enough space for everyone." And the other one says, "All right, how do we get there?" Well, we can all try and pile in my car and make a run for it. We'll never make it. These creatures are out there. Yeah, I know. With that, your vision fades. But your vision is a short one. It's sort of you can sense that your sort of vision is hazy. Sort of going back in time is really challenging of a spell for you, and you focus and you get flashes, visions of what was happening. You could see sort of the smoldering rock that's coming off of the ground, this sort of faint kind of pulsing red matter that's in the meteorites that you can see elements of it. it almost seems to sort of like pulse in the ground, hot from slamming into the earth itself. And then as you sort of watch it, you can see that there's like a cut in your vision. It sort of fades and then it comes back, and you can see that the place where the meteorite hit the ground, you could see some remnants of debris here, but no meteorite. As a small pickup truck sort of drives away, that looks familiar, the pickup truck that was outside the lab. But as it sort of drives away, you can feel your vision sort of fade. And just as you sort of like desperately focus on keeping it just barely, you see what looks like a ripple or like a warble in the in the air around this site. There's like a warbling that just sort
Where
of like
the
ripples
impact
off.
was.
Yeah. And then just as you sort of try to focus on that and see what happens, your vision fades. You we'll say that like your vision, at least in the short term, is affected. The sort of bright lights here in this lab are very challenging to see. They sort of like sear, they give you a headache, as you're sort of like remarkably light sensitive at this point. So mechanically, that doesn't really do anything quite yet, but it might.
Could take a short break.
Of course. Let me finish up with your information and we'll take a quick break.
Sure.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Is that cool with everybody? Or did you want to do something for the hour too?
I do.
Okay, then let's take a break and we'll cut back and find out what happens there. Sound good? All right, everybody. We'll be back soon.
Bye.
Very right back.
Hey.
We're
We're
back.
back, boy.
I didn't win, but I freaking
We're
won this game.
I
back.
got 5s.
Sorry, I didn't know the I don't know etiquette for canceling all the Keyforge chat. But
You just go,
So-
all right, guys.
all right, guys,
There we go.
returning back into our mystery as you
It is a mystery.
cast your magical spells to glimpse through time and space itself. The other two, sort of Archibald and Greta, what would you like to do? Greta, you mentioned you wanted to try and do something.
Yeah, I wanted to read a bad situation.
A bad situation.
I wanted to, well, I guess I have to roll first and then figure out what my questions are. Assuming
Sure.
I need to ask one.
Sure.
7 plus my sharp, a 9. So I get to hold 1. Dang, one
Yeah.
higher. Would have been good to hold 3. So I get 1 question. What's the best way out of here?
Out of here,
Yeah.
so out of this situation, or out of this place, I mean, unfortunately, there's just not much of a way out of here. The lab isn't really built for, to be entirely defensible. The best way is probably in your would probably be to bring the van around to the back of the lab, because there is like a small like docking area where they bring in some of these sort of materials, and that might be easier to sort of load the van with you all in it. But if it's just you could get in your van and just sort of make a run for it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
the challenge is going to be your instinct is that being out in the fog for a long period of time is probably bad, and so bringing the vehicle around back to load all of your passengers in would be the best
Gotcha.
strategy.
Cool. That's all I wanted to do.
Cool. And if I remember right, you were doing research to figure out
Where?
where it came from.
Yeah, like where all this is originating from.
Right. Okay. And Barry, do you relay some of the knowledge from your spell?
Yeah, for sure. If the timing was not simultaneous, because
Sure.
it takes me like an hour.
Sure. It could be close enough.
Yeah.
So as this happens, as you're sort of doing research, you find that sort of perusing through Alexandra's material, you find that she's recorded that while some of these meteorites have landed in this region, none have landed quite this big. And as she sort of started researching this red matter, whatever it is, you realize that you're getting a ton of strange signals coming from the area where the meteorite landed. And as you sort of begin kind of translating and translocating where these devices are coming from, Barry mentions that he saw sort of a rippling effect. And as you do, it sort of dawns on you that whatever happened, it's almost like the sort of the veil that separates this realm from whatever this other realm is has been torn. And what you've noticed, once this sort of dawns on you, as you're sort of reading through all this material, is it's getting worse.
Well, it seems like maybe when these meteors crashed, it started breaking apart the fabric of space-time. And well, you know, when there's like window and a rock goes through it. It sort of cracks and it like makes a little crack, but then those cracks just like the whole window's weakened, and then like a little gust of wind now is gonna blow glass through. Our world might be that window.
The window or to the other side of the window?
The window. The thing that's breaking and falling apart and being destroyed.
I don't. All right. Great. I hate this. As I'm like boarding up one of the air vents just in case.
We're gonna.
Hold your breath. In case we run out of
That's
air.
not gonna work very well.
This room is pretty big. We got some air in here. He's a kid. He doesn't use as much.
Stop that!
Listen, the air can still get through, but like big old
All right.
whatever the hell that was before can't.
So we gotta go
Fix the window.
duct tape the air.
I don't think duct tape works on air. I have duct tape. I would know.
So I looked back at the diner, and Nichelle and those guys and the family that was over there, they looked like they were pretty close to making a run for the hardware store. And I don't think they'd all make it. They had the vehicle they had, I think, was a I don't remember. Was it a truck or just a car?
I don't think I indicated it to you. I don't think you saw that.
Okay,
How far away is that from?
that's an excellent question.
Well, it was hard to tell before because sort of driving through the fog made it really, really challenging. But, probably
The professor.
15, 20 minutes.
Professor would know.
Sure. Do you ask her? It seemed like Caleb asked me, not
I
Archibald.
yeah, no,
Archibald Brown.
was just trying to remember like
15, 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes. Why do you think they wouldn't make it to the hardware store?
Because there's those whatever monsters out there. And they have like 3 little kids with
But
them.
you just think that we can make it back to them and then carry them to the hardware store? Just
Well, we've got
a pack of that.
your van is huge.
Yeah, I only have the one seat though.
I think we can take an exception to the traffic law violations on this one.
I
You
could
don't
try,
know what the man's up to.
I could try and tell them over the radio that they should stay put, but the sheriff might try and talk over me. Or we can go try and get him, but I mean, that just means we're out in that fog longer.
Well, we need to get over to the hardware store at some point too, anyways, right?
Right. Or at least depends if we want to crack the window, fix the
Thought
crack.
we needed to fix the window.
Right. Do we want to fix the broken window here, or do we want to help protect the people? Do we know how to fix the window?
No.
Theoretically.
Please share.
I think we got to work with.
I love theoretically.
Well, if our theories are correct, and she looks at you, Archibald, this red matter affected the veil somehow. If we were to, get the red matter through the crack, it could theoretically seal it. Theoretically.
Is all the red matter in this room, or is it more?
She sort of looks at it. Yeah.
Is this red matter here with us now?
Nope.
Well, that sounds doable.
I mean, well, what are you? So, Greta, you on? Are you on? You with me? Then we go and we gotta patch this hole.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize we had such a plan. It sounds like we do. I'm game to plug up the hole. I mean, we can try and fight whatever came through, but if it's not the only one, then
They'll just keep coming.
they'll just keep coming.
Can I read a bad situation? Can I just like declare I'd like to read a bad situation? Is that a thing I can do?
Sure. What are you trying to do? Like in what way?
I guess. Well, so I was thinking evaluating the biggest threat, dangers we haven't noticed, and the best way to protect the victims. And because I was pretty much just gonna take a 12 on it.
So, is this relative to the diner? What's the situation you're reading? The diner or this situation?
I guess sort of both.
Pick one.
The way they're okay.
You can pick one.
Then,
Because like, are you trying to identify the situation that you're currently in, right, or the situation that the people in the diner are currently in?
Well,
Right, those are
trying-
two very different things.
Are you trying to weight them? Like, what's the bigger threat? Those people are.
yeah, I
seeing-
guess right. Or I guess what does my instinct say? Like, is it worth the effort trying to save individual people, or is it better to just try and deal with the big thing at large and try and seal this window?
Go for it. Try and roll sharp.
No, I was just gonna use a luck point and take a 12 on it. And that's why I was talking about multiple.
But technically, you should roll the 12,
Technically, you should roll.
right? Because you could just get it.
Or I could get a 5 and then say that I'm using a luck point to make it a 12.
You did
It
that.
could have been a natural.
It could have been.
Could have done
We're at 13.
that.
Whoa.
So I will say that so you have your hold 3, and I would say it would probably be reading the situation at the diner, right? Because I think there's no way for me to tell you for you to tell like either the best way to either seal whatever this is or rescue them. The only way you would gain that information if you understood the situation that they were in at the diner, right? And the urgency or whatever that's there. Does that make sense?
I guess so. I guess I just don't. I'm not sure what to specifically ask outside of the specific or the bullet points. Even though I just realized that.
Sure,
on
you
12
can.
plus,
You
I
can ask the bullet. You can ask the bullet points if you'd like.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, obviously, the fog that has sort of rolled in is a big danger, and there are certainly. It looked like from your vision, right, that there is at least one creature there that has killed or taken somebody on the outside, right? From being able to see sort of like the handprint on the outside and seeing how everybody's clearly panicked, that somebody has clearly
Rage.
died trying to get in or out of the diner.
Gotcha. Okay.
You have 3.
I guess what's the best way to protect the victims?
The best way to protect them would be to go get them and get them out of there. So the indication that you get is that they're going to try and make a breakaway in a reasonable amount of time. And they are not as equipped as you are to get them out.
Okay.
Does that help answer your question
I guess so.
a little bit?
Do we know where this rift is? This window?
You picked it up, right?
She sort of points to it on a map, and you can see sort of where the electromagnetic sort of radiation is coming from. She says, I'd say there.
How far off's that?
10 minutes.
All right.
Just go
5 on a good day.
Is it inside the facility or outside? Or like
Outside.
It's outside.
All right.
You saw it.
So, I think we have one of 2 ways we can go about this. You wanna keep people safe. You still believe individual lives are important. That's fine. You can you can go. Look, our reality's falling apart. We can split up. You can go after them. There's a truck out there. We can take the truck. You can take the van. I don't think that's a good idea. We can do it. Or an equally poor plan, if I may say so. We try to cause a distraction.
I was thinking that as well.
We have presumably potentially anything and fire, and that's often a good leaf blower. I look at the cell phones.
Figured out the perfect distraction.
Leaf blower to blow some leaves in an upward direction.
Well, I was thinking, I think I have some fireworks in the.
In my pockets.
I don't know. No, I do not. They are
other pants.
They are. I know where they are, but it's real bad.
What did you roll?
4.
A 4? You
Yeah.
gain your experience.
Oh yeah.
And what does that mean? So you
I know where they are, but it's somewhere real bad.
oh, okay.
In the principal's
Now that can
drawer.
mean that just like
Left him at home.
I left them at home. It could mean I accidentally left them in someone's oven and they're about to
Yeah.
light off.
You're fairly certain that you left them on the sort of like main desk in the library. In that you meant to bring them and just came up a trip short.
You know that feeling when you leave, you just know you're forgetting something.
So not only did you leave it at home, but there's going to be people, whoever finds them is going to be asking questions about why there's fireworks on the counter in this library.
Damn kids.
Might have to set another bribe, blackmail, or 2.
Oh, I'm sure they're just confiscated from the children.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, all right. Okay, so I don't have fireworks.
Well, we could strap a flamethrower to the back of a large wolf, and I could run around presumably faster than the average human, and be shooting fire out of from behind me. Sounds pretty distracting.
How fast? How fast did that tentacle come in? Are you faster than the tentacles?
That's an excellent question.
I can shoot lightning into.
Wait, you what?
I could shoot lightning.
Is that the name of your gun?
No, this is Margaret's. Sorry, it was a bad idea.
I mean,
if the kid wants to shoot lightning,
yeah, we shoot lightning at the bad thing though. If it comes up, lightning's very loud and then it's gone. It might be like, oh, it's over there. Wait, what was that?
I could keep shooting.
All right, well, we can try that. Like that. I suppose that would work.
I don't think there's a limitation to how much lightning I can shoot.
Put that on a map, bro.
Wand is so much better than gun. Gun runs out of bullets.
Because I specifically
specifically took off the you rely on a collection of tools. I took off the consumables. You need certain supply. It says that cross off one, you'll need the rest. I got rid of consumables. So I just need gestures, incantations, and a foci.
Oh, guy.
A fall guy?
Fall guys.
One folk human.
Alright, we got lightning. That's our best option right now. We could. I don't know.
He's
Wait,
very
I
loud.
just remembered. Isn't the horn of your van?
It took a lot to get that customized, right?
Is there another car in the facility we could use? We could maybe.
There's the truck.
Besides. Whose truck? Besides ours?
No, it's
There's
the other
the pickup truck.
Maybe we could. Maybe we do that thing where we leave the brick on the accelerator with the pickup truck and have it crash into something.
Yeah,
and blow up.
brick.
It's clearly only a brick.
Surely there
Only
can't be
anything
anything
else.
else in this lab.
Look,
way down.
I know there can be.
I do not have a brick.
Can I help her
Oh
find
no,
a brick?
you do have a brick. It's just somewhere bad.
It's somewhere bad again, though. Yeah.
Gain an experience.
I think there's farm experience like this.
It may be bad. It's tied on like a small string from the ceiling, hanging directly above.
I won't let you do that forever, but
the
I'll
wicks
give it
of
to you
the
here.
fireworks.
Just 'cause it's funny.
Just like frame zooms out a little bit, and you see like a
Well-
lighter and a brick above it.
It does
I see
say,
the fireworks and then it zooms out. There's a brick there next to it.
it does say when I need something unusual or rare. I don't consider a brick either one of
That's
those
fair.
two
Yeah.
things.
I would like to find a regular
true.
brick that we didn't bring with us. Can I do that?
No.
Very common.
This brick was
There's a
actually
lot
a
of bricks I didn't
historical
bring
find
with.
from
That's
a-
true. Let's just use the meteor to hold down the pedal.
All right, so we put something heavy on the accelerator. We send the truck off in a different direction. It crashes into something. Hopefully, it blows up. Either way, it makes some noise.
I mean,
There are people hiding indoors all over town.
Well, we don't aim to build the car at a truck. We just aim it at like the fence at the edge of the property, or a tree or
All
something.
right, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure we hit the accelerator and send it in a direction. It's gonna hit something that's not a building, probably.
Maybe it'll hit the monster.
Straight at the diner.
Unless it's like,
Blind fire it straight at the diner.
15 minutes down the road.
It's a small town. There's nothing between the
And
diner and
it's
the
driving.
slab.
Like, we need to help the people in the diner. All of the creatures follow this truck straight at the diner.
and right before it turns, the guy's like, the blinker turns on. Right in the diner.
Also, just imagining the family like crossing the road to safety as the truck just comes barreling
Wile E.
through.
Coyotes.
Brr.
Oh no, we forgot to put the fog lights on for them.
All right, so we're gonna use the truck.
I guess so.
Okay, I missed what was serious and what wasn't. So what's happening? So you're all gonna get in the truck,
We're
the
gonna
van.
get into the van
okay?
and head to try to staunch the bleeding that is this this portal.
You're gonna go to the portal.
The
Okay.
we are going to rig up the. We're going to. I think you and I are going to try rigging up
Yep.
the truck to sort of explode, make some chaos.
Force the horn to be always just.
Yeah, and sort of set something heavy on the gas pedal and just launch it to try to cause a distraction and attract the elastic tentacle fog creatures.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right, and cool. Okay. So, as you sort of begin preparing your distraction, let's see here.
Gamers control.
I think that's one of those like lever actions
So-
when you like flip around.
So if we're gonna try to distract these things, we should you have radio. You could use the radio and tell people that if there's a car that careens into a building and explodes and the horn is going the whole time, that we did that and that's a distraction to try to leverage that.
But then won't we be responsible for the damage that it causes?
And more importantly, won't they hear us?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume they don't speak English.
With a paltry magical spell, that can be overcome. I've seen what our use magic can do. Just kidding.
If that's true, I don't know. I mean, I can do that. I don't like the idea of, like you said, like.
Do you have insurance?
No.
What about you?
I mean, can they trace the radio?
No, but they can trace my voice. Do you have voice changer on you?
You know, that does feel like something.
It
that
does feel
would
like
be in
something
your
you would have.
staple set of things.
But I mean, if I have to, I'll just do it.
Well, hold on. I would like to use magic to change his voice for this announcement.
Interesting. Okay. Go ahead and roll weird. I think that seems reasonable.
Magic being a thing.
Nice.
11.
Oh, God damn.
11. Yes. So,
Nice.
you,
Greta now sounds like a southern gentleman.
So I'm like, all right, here's this old trick I learned. As you talk, you just put your hand over your mouth and just talk like that, and it's gonna sound totally different.
I don't really know. Oh my God, what are you supposed to do? Like, this is so strange. I don't make it stop. Like, this is like, oh my God.
we've made a mistake.
Oh my God.
I'll get in the radio and what? Wait, what was I supposed to tell them again?
Lumpy space.
If they see a car crash, don't worry about it, right? Basically.
Oh, that
Like, don't worry about it.
A
right?
car crash that might occur could be leveraged as a distraction.
All right, everybody, listen up. Now we are throwing out a car out into the wilderness there. If you so see it and it goes bloom, then just don't worry about it. It's sort of a distraction. We're gonna go close the glass door. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay, and now you called the hardware store or the...
No, this was back on the radio. The
Oh.
like the sheriff was using.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this sort of strange message comes across this shortwave radio that broadcasts across the whole town, at least as far as you can. You notice that Alexandra, the doctor, sort of like looks in your direction, just sort of wide-eyed, and said,
Don't look at me like that, okay?
"Yeah, my bad.
I think it ended there.
All right."
Yeah, I think it's got it keeps coming back up.
It's like one makes you want to vomit.
Yeah.
So you all begin sort of preparing this truck for this pickup truck for your distraction. Who is sort of leading the way in terms of rigging up this truck?
Me?
All right. Why don't you roll act under pressure?
I will try to help out if I could.
Go for it.
And at the same time, I'm just keeping an eye out for anything
Yes.
in the fog that might come at them, and
Yeah.
I will defend them.
Yeah, go for it.
8.
An 8. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, nice, get him.
All right.
Also an 8 plus is 1, right?
Yeah.
So 9.
A 9. Cool. Exactly. Okay. So as you do, sort of rig up the car, you begin sort of preparing things for this pickup truck. You sort of set up the radio so that it's set really, really loud, roll down all the windows, prepare something massive, this sort of big console device, this like old AM/FM radio that that Alexandra has. You sort of pile it in on top of other sort of equipment to sort of hold down the gas pedal and rig the horn to sort of emanate all of this noise. And as you begin to fire up the truck, you notice that it doesn't start right away. It sort of like sputters as you can't get it set up. You realize that as that happens, you sort of take a dive out towards the front of the truck, which is all, I should say, outside the building,
Yeah.
right at the back of this sort of bay. You sort of open up the front of the car and begin sort of checking things, and as you sort of find the sort of challenge of the problem that you do, you begin to sort of fix it. And as that happens, sort of unbeknownst to you, but you notice it, is there are, you hear sort of this chittering noise coming from the fog. And as it happens, you hear this sort of squelching noise. And it sounds almost like it's like footprints or something as it's coming. But as this is happening, the radio is really loud at this point, sort of beaconing everything. This is a beacon of trouble. And as that happens, you see a small light sort of appear in the fog. And then another one, and then another one. As 3 small little lights appear and begin to glow, as this sort of squelching sound happens. And emerging from the fog is a massive, giant, like toad creature with a massive sort of maw that sort of drapes open. You can see a long sort of tongue scrapes across the ground as it comes in your direction. You can see that you can see that it has this like razor sharp teeth and these sort of tentacle-esque arms as it sort of moves out. You hear it open up its mouth as you go, and you can hear sort of more of them coming. As that happens, the sort of car sort of starts. And just as that happens, you sort of shut the hood of the thing and sort of move out of the way. And everybody's sort of shouting to one another. Alexandra comes out. And as she does, she sort of shouts, they're coming! Get the truck out of here! Get it out of here! And as you sort of rip it, you begin to sort of loose the truck out of the way. What'd you say? Rivet.
God damn it.
As that happens, does anyone want to do anything? This creature sort of lashes out at you.
Oh.
As it does, as its tongue sort of lashes out in your direction, I need you to roll tough for me.
You betcha. I like it.
Can I protect someone?
Sure.
When the
Yeah, how do you do that?
Protects the little kid.
How do you do that?
Literally just interposing myself between him and toad creature's tongue and or whatever is
Yeah, roll tough.
coming at him. I'm so good at this game.
Wow. That's a really
11.
Okay.
do you add anything?
No tough.
I
Okay, cool.
so let's see. I could either suffer a little harm, so I get an extra thing because I did pretty
Yep.
well. I guess I suffer a little harm. So as if it was going to hurt me, it hurts me a little less.
Yeah. Okay. So as this creature comes, as this tongue sort of rips at you, Barry, you hear a shout as before you notice Ned is in front of you. The tongue sort of wraps around him, and I need you, Ned, to roll tough.
Okay. Yeah, and also I changed my mind. I think instead of I suffer little harm, I think I'm going to inflict harm on the enemy.
Go for it.
instead.
Okay.
This would be a failure of my toughness.
Okay.
I got a 5.
Okay. As that happens, you, I'm assuming, how does your transform work?
So when I interpose myself here, I probably just like go into werewolf mode.
Yeah.
And so like if assuming it's the tongue reaching out to grab, it's now grabbing a solidly larger creature than it was bargaining for. And I will just straight sink my teeth into this thing if it's grabbing me, assuming that counts as intimately close?
Yeah, so it's more intimate than you
range
know.
improvement.
It's more intimate than you know, as this tongue sort of wraps around you and lunges you towards this creature's open mouth. And as you're sort of moving, your sort of like rage and your lust for whatever this is about to happen, right? This sort of primal version of you, you almost just don't even resist to its ability to sort of pull you towards it.
I'm getting
As you just come right at it, and you hear him shout as this what feels like it's going to be this clash of creatures ends up being that very quickly Ned disappears inside this creature. As you are inside its mouth, you get a
Doesn't matter what character I am. Here we go.
So you do how much harm?
3.
3 harm. Yeah, as you just sort of rip it apart.
It's true. It's true.
So Ned has disappeared inside this creature. The sort of truck begins sort of heading off in a direction as you sort of revved it up to sort of shoot off. Anybody want to do anything? I'll pause for a second.
Well, that's dead.
Ned's dead. Skull's rubbing.
Not good lightning.
Thank you.
You lightning the creature. You cast your magic.
Yep.
Go for it. Roll use magic.
I don't have it yet, but eventually I will get unquenchable vitality.
9.
Just a different kind of.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
So-
my combat magic,
Okay.
which I don't know if that falls under use magic.
You what now?
So I don't know that if that falls under use magic.
Would you use
My
combat magic?
Combat magic, yeah.
I think it does, right?
I don't know.
I assume it's.
It says when you use these spells to kick some ass.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you could do that. You can use them as weapons. So that's what you wanted to do. Okay.
Yeah.
So add your. This would be normally tough, so it adds your weird to it instead.
Yep. Yep. 9.
So a 9. Okay. So with a 9, as you do that, which of them did you use?
So actually, it's gonna be, instead of the actual lightning, it's still gonna be a missile,
Okay.
and it's gonna be force, where I'm gonna basically try and like lob it so that it just lands on this thing's head and it just goes poof,
Okay. Hell
dunk
yeah.
it into the ground.
Okay. Yeah. So you do 2 harm.
Yeah.
Is that right?
One of it is hard magic, and the other one is harm forceful.
Okay, cool. So as that happens, you will say that because you rolled a 7,
9.
or a 9, excuse me, or not a 10.
Yep.
The creature technically does its harm to you. But we'll say instead of that, sort of flavorfully, this spell that you cast is remarkably painful for you to leash, as whatever sort of primal aspect that you've sort of instead of it being sort of normal in this sort of scenario, you sort of overdo it, and you take 3 harm as an effect to your kick some ass. So you're just sort of like, you launch this like lightning force effect, and it just sort of explodes in your hand as it explodes into them, and you take 3 harm.
Ouch.
But it is effective by that, so you do 2 harm and forceful. So where did you want to push it?
Just straight into the ground.
Just push it into the ground, just squish it.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a forced curb stomp.
Yeah, hell yeah. It sort of like squishes it a little bit as it can't move. As that's happening, you are getting, Ned, you are getting sort of engulfed as it has sort of devoured you. I need you to roll tough. 9. Okay. So while you were inside this creature, you wanted to attack it, I'm assuming?
I guess I would.
You want to kick its ass?
Yes.
Some from the inside?
Yes.
Okay.
Have to go all the
So
way through.
Then is that roll what I just rolled then? So I have 0 tough, but when I attack, I have +3 because I use weird, not tough. So my 9 would be a 12 if the roll you're having. Was for attack.
No, it's different from that.
Okay.
This is when you get engulfed, which is when it sort of devours you.
Check.
So you take, now that you're inside this creature, you take 2 harm,
Oof.
or you lose something valuable. You can choose.
My gun. I no longer have a gun.
Is that the most valuable here?
I can't imagine what I would have on me at this point that's more valuable than my gun.
Okay.
Although I'm a teenager, maybe it's my cell phone. I'll leave it up to
No,
you.
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
It is your choice. So you do lose your gun,
Okay.
but you don't take damage. Now you can do your kick some ass if you would like.
Hooray. Oh no. I'm doing it. I need to get lucky. I'm inside this thing. Whoop. So in that case, my failed roll that then uses a luck point becomes a 15. So I would like to go with the option of you suffer no harm at all. So I will 3 harm this thing with my teeth, I guess. And I will not receive any damage in return.
Yeah, you absolutely do. As this is happening, you see, I mean, Ned is still devoured by this creature.
So, after that, I would get in the van and ram the thing.
Oh, okay.
Damn
Yeah.
Sorry, did I beat you to it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, as that happens,
Swallowed by a creature and hit by a car?
as all of this is happening, you all notice that Archibald, he did say it first, I'm sorry.
After you.
But Greta,
That's fine.
but you notice that since you got this truck moving, right, you sort of lost track of Archibald. And before long, you hear the horn. What's the horn sound like? What's the horn sound like? And then there's boom, and the creature just gets slammed and goes flying in a different direction.
Fortunately, I'm
Goggles
safely
down.
cushioned inside it.
Inside of its mouth, yes.
Yeah,
Basically,
you
there.
are safely inside as a part of this creature.
Like
So
one
as
giant
that happens, you take, or it takes, excuse me, how did I say harm was? Like 3? I think 3 is like unnatural.
3
What
is
did I
as
say?
much as a normal person can take, and then 4 is when you're into dying territory.
Yeah, that's an overkill for a person. I would say that hitting somebody with a van is overkill for a person. It takes 4 harm.
Yeah.
From that move. And as that happens, what do you want to do? So as that slams into it, it goes flying. You sort of lose track of the creature, the frog creature,
with him still inside.
in the fog. Yeah. It just sort of goes flying.
We should probably retrieve his body.
Do I know what? So now that I've seen the creature,
How big is it? So, like, it's big enough that it swallowed me in my werewolf form pretty effortlessly. So it's just like, you know, we're talking like froghemoth stature, kind of compared to a person.
Yeah. Do you want me to show you? You want me to send you what it looks like?
Sure.
Because I think it's appropriate that I send it to you. What it looks like.
I really hope you send me just a picture that's just like a blank black square, because the inside of this creature is not illuminated at all.
That would be really, really mean.
I'm ready for it.
I know you are. But I don't think you're ready for it.
I don't think
In
I'm
the way
ready
you
for
think you
this
are.
jelly. I don't think I'm ready for this jelly.
Can I see it since I
Yeah,
was very close to it?
yeah. Have Kevin show you what it is. So is it big enough to swallow you, Kevin, you think?
I mean,
it's only that big.
I don't have a banana for scale, so I'm not sure.
It's this big.
Yeah, I mean,
We've just
I don't think so. Like, it looks like a little flea bite or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
I don't.
Okay. That's only one depiction of the creature. Some say that it could potentially look like this.
Oh. Okay. So, I got it. I follow.
I still don't know what that is.
It's a froggy. So definitely big enough. Definitely big
Okay.
enough to swallow me.
So what do you guys want to do? The sort of side door of the van kind of gets thrown open.
You drove the van, right? Not the truck. We just.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's no. Are there any other vehicles here?
The truck is gone. It drove off
Okay.
successfully with your distraction.
Yep.
I look at you.
And they're still here, but there's that distraction.
The one's still here.
Yeah, is it dead? I'll just call into the mist.
I don't know.
Nope.
I'm just gonna start charging after where I saw the truck and the creature.
Are you dead? Frog thing, are you dead? It's. I think it's dead. Maybe.
Can you roll tough?
8.
8. You suffer 2 harm.
Oh no, my second gun.
No, you actually suffer harm
I
here.
know.
And you are vomited out.
I think that. Okay.
So as you run out into the fog, you don't see the frog creature anywhere, but you do see Ned, covered in slime, in his wolf form, battered and beaten.
I'd run to pick him up and help him, try and get him back inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll pull
wait.
I'll pull the van
No,
up.
sorry, to the van.
Yeah, I'll pull the van up, sort of go around and wrangle everyone into it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Professor included, and lab assistant included.
No, he died.
The lab assistant died.
Oh, okay.
When we
He
got
got-
there,
he
he
got
got
punked.
yeeted out.
Cool. I wasn't.
He
Yeah.
probably was
As
safely
you sort of
vomited
begin
out.
sort of gesturing and getting everybody into the van, roll act under pressure. I need to stop doing this because I'm pointing right at the camera.
You viewer.
Roll act under pressure.
We have the red matter, right?
You do?
Okay.
Yeah, you can have
Oh,
it.
nice.
9.
9. Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
yes, that's right.
I need the nice roll.
Yes.
So as that's happening, you notice that as Greta and Ned are being pulled or sort of like hobbling towards the van, Barry already in the van next to you. Alexandra isn't quite in the van. And as that's happening, you can see that in the distance, the frog creature on top of the lab, looking in your direction. You can only help one. Who do you help?
Between
Alexandra and these two.
who has the rock?
You do.
I have the rock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not helping anyone.
Goodbye.
Alright.
You have no idea how much I can sell this thing for. Screw this town. Yeah, I go after these two.
Yeah. As you do, you notice that Alexandra's trying to catch up to the van as the tongue wraps around her and rips her off into the fog. You all clamber into the van and boom, just take off into the fog towards where this crack is.
Ned, you made it out of there fine, right? Out of that frog, just fine, right?
Yeah, she'll be fine. I'm sure.
I'm like covered in nasty frog saliva and just like
Yeah,
look
but
like shit in the back of the van.
my rear view mirror just doesn't quite get down there. I gotta keep my eyes. The fog makes it tough to. I'm sure you're fine. I'm sure you're all right. She's probably fine.
There's no like bandaging him up while we're.
There is a. You could first aid him if you want, which is just sort of bandaging him up and reducing some of his harm.
He needs it too.
I
So
think I need it more than him.
Yeah.
to get some first aid.
You know, I have
Wait, you did take
First
damage?
aid reduces an injury by 1 harm.
from hitting him.
Oh.
What do we roll for that?
Oops.
Nothing.
Deadly.
Okay. Well, then I guess we just do that.
Yeah. So you can only benefit from 1 first aid per injury or condition. So basically, for this one sort of scenario, you can only take 1 first aid for this scenario.
And I'll use magic.
You can try that if you want.
So you both lose a harm, right?
Is that what?
Huzzah!
That's what's on the first aid
First aid.
does. Yeah.
Sure, I'll use magic.
To
You
heal
use
one,
magic?
To heal 1 harm from an injury.
Okay. Roll. Roll weird.
I'll take a luck.
Okay. How lucky? How close to doom are we?
Not for second luck I've used.
Oh, okay. Somebody will use like 3, right?
I've used 2.
I've used 2.
I've used 1.
2? Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad. Okay.
We've been taking.
We've
photos.
just
Now that I
been
think
sharing
about it.
them
Alright.
pretty evenly.
You've been taking the success at a cost rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been rolling above average, which is shocking. I think I might have gotten Lenny's dice for this.
I've been rolling dispel dice.
He's got Jordan's dice.
So as you sort of careen off, sort of doing first aid from the van, anything else you guys want to do as you guys are trying to drive through the fog here to get towards the rift?
Continue to convince myself that the doctor's probably fine.
Okay.
I will.
Do you want to manipulate? Roll plus charm.
To manipulate yourself.
Yeah. Can I tell myself it's all connected?
Yeah. Manipulate someone. Roll plus charm.
10.
A 10. Yeah, you think you'll do it for the reason you gave him.
Yeah.
So.
I was right.
Unless you were gonna try and do something to try and make sure we navigate to the right spot while we don't have the person who was actually there
I was gonna try
in
and
her
learn more.
truck.
I was gonna try and learn more about the creature.
Yeah.
And I would like to try to make sure we are navigating to the spot that I saw in my
12-year-old
vision.
co-pilot.
She pointed on the map, but
Yeah.
she ain't with us anymore.
Yeah. So, why don't you, if you want to sort of see what you know about this creature now that you've seen it and interacted with it, why don't you investigate a mystery? Why don't you roll
We're
plus
in a
sharp?
read a bad situation.
With access to my lower library, can I have
I mean, they're both sharp. I just don't know.
I'm expecting so. Yeah. What'd you say?
I said, would it be read a bad situation?
Well, we're using a luck
rather?
on that.
You can.
Two
So
lux for
It's
everyone.
sharp either way. I just don't know.
I would say investigate a mystery. It's sort of like questions like, what sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? That kind of stuff.
Well, for mine, it's
That was
the
more
re-
for the mystery.
the reason that I read a bad situation is what's the best way in, as in what's the best way to get.
That may be for you.
Oh yeah, that's what I was.
For, yeah. I was gonna have you act under pressure, but read situation is
That's
fine too.
I mean, you can act under pressure while doing something, right?
Yeah. Why don't you make an act under pressure first roll? What did you roll?
Well, I rolled 2 1s, and then I'm like, I think I'll use luck on that.
Okay. All right. So you get you have your hold 2.
We nailed it.
Yep.
So what would you like to know?
Well, you're in a. I had one specifically in mind, not on which one I wanted to ask so badly. Do him.
Okay. Act under pressure.
11.
11. Okay. And then read a bad situation. Roll plus sharp.
10.
Okay, you get your hold 3. What would you like?
What's the best way in?
I mean, you know the best way in. The best way in is to just sort of, if you cut down specific ways, you sort of pull away from the city or from the town. And as you get away from the town, it's not long before you'll end up right at the sort of rift, or at least where you saw it.
This one I'm gonna reframe.
Sure.
So it's what's the best way to protect the victims?
Yeah.
What's the best the victims? What's the best way to prevent?
You notice that the creatures are big.
Yeah.
And seem easily distracted. And once it sounds awful, but once it sort of devoured Ned, it really couldn't devour anyone else.
Yeah.
Right? At least immediately. Mm-hmm. So probably the best way to protect yourselves would be to have a distraction. Have either somebody sort of sacrifice themselves or go a different direction and lead it away from the rest of you.
Okay. And then
At least as far as you can tell.
And then what's most vulnerable to me?
What's most vulnerable to you?
Yeah.
I mean, the creature didn't seem particularly resistant to anything that you were doing. It just seemed like it had a ton of. It was fairly sturdy, and it seems it being more alien makes it even more sturdy than that. So I would say that one's really tough. I would say that nothing's really vulnerable to you, but it didn't seem particularly strong against you either.
Okie dokie.
All right, Greta.
Oh, with hold 2, I can just hold that indefinitely until I want to ask the question, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want. The idea is that you spend them.
Well, yeah.
Let me look at
I would. Okay, I can spend now.
What are you trying to do?
I was thinking like, what can hurt it? We know that running a car into it can hurt it. We know that,
biting it aggressively.
shooting it and biting it aggressively can hurt it. Is there anything particularly effective against these creatures?
Yeah, so I'll give you more information on that than everybody else has.
Okay.
If that's what you want to spend one of your hold on.
It is, yeah.
Okay. This creature is not. They seem like these creatures, from what you know, they are trans-dimensional creatures from a different sort of swamp dimension, massive sort of swamp-esque dimension, and they can only manifest when the nexus, whatever this nexus is, this trans-dimensional portal, is actually open. If you were to close it, these creatures would lose their tie to that realm, wilt, and die.
Okay, closing the portal kills the things. Any information about if someone is swallowed, how to get them to regurgitate that easily without killing them? Or killing them obviously is going to make them regurgitate. But
if they were, if you get engulfed, you could fight your way out. But if you are not strong enough to bust your way out of it, you run the risk of being digested.
okay, gotcha. Does that count as my second question? It's fine if it is. But...
I would say so.
Okay.
One was like, what's it weak to? And the other one was like, how do you get out of it? Like, how do you get out of it?
Yeah.
So those would be your two.
Okay.
Anybody else want to do anything as they prepare?
That didn't work. How long would a standard heal spell take to cast? Using the basic use magic.
So when he cast it, it only took him about a minute.
Well, then I will also try and use magic to heal 1 harm from Barry.
Roll weird.
For me,
For you,
poggers.
11. Yeah.
Okay.
11.
You heal 1 harm.
Ta-da.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Magic werewolf.
Archibald,
I truly
I'm just-
appreciate.
how do you feel about me holding on to the dark matter? Red matter. The dark red matter.
Your arm was broken. Instead, I just take all.
Right
the
now,
bones
it's just
out of
like
your
resting
arm.
in my lap, sort of like as I'm
Much more
driving. I just
flexible.
like hold it there. Why?
In character, because I got a plan. Out of character, it's because I have an ability that lets me have a plan. But
It's so good.
but I can make that work in other ways, so that's cool.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Just you can just grab.
You want?
Just grab.
You sure?
Just grab. Just sort of don't. Just take.
Stop turning so. All right,
The road is curvy.
I grab it.
All right. You have the dark matter.
Dark red matter.
Red matter.
Dark red matter. Dark red matter. Red matter.
Yep.
It doesn't take long as Barry directs you through the haze using a mix of his magic and knowledge. It doesn't take long before you can physically feel the temperature of this area change as you approach. It's much more sort of humid and sort of swamp-like here, as you find yourself immediately in like a mud sort of tar-esque area as you pull up to a massive tear in the world, in the sort of realm where you are. As you all sort of pull up quickly and open up your door to take a look, you can hear sort of this strange sort of alien sounds emanating from this, as the full realm itself has begun to sort of grow and encroach out of the rift towards the rest of Nimoy, New Mexico. The whole area is covered in this mud and muck, massive sort of swamp-esque tentacled plants have sprouted up out of the ground here, seemingly out of nowhere, as clearly these worlds, these dimensions, are colliding. What would you like to do? The rift is in front of you.
Let's all run to the rift. Get the ball in.
Seal the rift. Seal the rift.
Yeah, I think we just.
We need to seal it now.
Let's go.
Go. We just rush towards it.
I grab
Yeah.
Miss 2000 and fly towards the.
You had a flying broom this whole time. You just flown it right up and just go right to the rift. Like a game of Quidditch. It's a red ball.
As you
I'll use magic to fly.
Throw the quaffle in the hoop. Come on.
Can you?
as you sort of all run and dive through this nexus, there is an immediate sort of pull, an electrical energy that just seems to arc off of the matter as you hold it up, Greta. It sort of burns almost in your hand as you could feel it sort of arcing off into this world, this alien realm that is completely dark, save for 4 luminescent moons that are placed in the sky, each of a different color. Massive sort of winged beasts sort of flap their wings across the sort of area, calling out to one another. You can see the sort of pools of muck, small little eye stalks point up and look in your direction as you do your best to sort of hold on to this matter.
So wait, so it's pulling at us. Don't we want it to take the ball?
Yeah, well, you are in the realm. All of you have sort of gone through the rift, and you are in the realm. And as you are in there, it sort of seems you sort of hold your arm up, Greta, and you can see that sort of like red arcing energy sort of is zapping off everywhere as you sort of hold it up. It seems to almost be dissolving.
I think we should leave that here, and maybe we get, unless anyone wants a vacation home. I'm back.
Sounds like a good
Do
plan.
the 4 moon-like objects have any effect on me?
They might. I need someone to roll sharp.
It's getting weird.
Do you want to watch it?
You're rolling sharp.
Not well. It wouldn't have mattered what I was rolling for. I think I probably need to be lucky in this particular moment, because that total of 3 is not going to do it.
I'm amazed by how many double ones we've rolled this session.
Yeah, quite a few.
136? Like, what the hell?
And I don't think
So
anyone's
that's a
rolled
12.
a pair of
Good job,
sixes.
Kevin.
No.
Good 12.
13.
Good
13. Okay.
Wow, what an animal.
All right.
Yakety yak.
What a monster.
Rawr. All that like weird energy in the air is making my like wolf form hair stand
a
up on
Y
end.
or-
Just kinda-
As you sort of turn around, Ned, as Archibald sort of mentions that we should get the hell out of here, as this sort of like ball of matter is sort of pulling at this realm, sealing it off. You sort of turn back and can see through the tear, or sort of through the area here. You can see the tear slowly knitting itself back together, but you can see that there is a way back to your realm from here.
There's no way back, guys. I guess we're stuck. No, I'm just kidding. That way.
Okay. So as you leave the matter here, and make a run for it, Ned, as you all sort of begin to move, you turn back and notice that, Ned, you can't move your feet.
Oh, bollocks.
Just get two different ones.
Right. Can I move somebody else's feet right now?
They just seem stuck in the mud?
Yep. He seems somewhat sort of almost like he's sort of paralyzed here.
Levitate him out of there.
Yeah?
Wolfgardium Leviosa.
I mean, I have force magic thematically. I will attempt to force pull him.
Okay. What is your force pull? Is that using magic, or is that
It's just
you
going to be
attack
a
him?
use magic.
Okay.
Of me trying to
then
basically...
roll plus weird.
I guess
to try and pull
physically
him.
Accio him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Good.
it's 10.
Yeah.
Damn.
10. All right. Yeah. You Barry, in a panic, sort of cast your spell. As it sort of finds purchase on Ned, you sort
Also
of
be under pressure.
no, probably not for this.
All right.
As you sort of cast your spell, you sort of find purchase on Ned's feet and his whole body. As you begin to pull him, you notice that his legs, as they sort of pull away from the ground, are slowly becoming that of the Froghemoth's feet.
Oh, no.
As they're becoming these tentacled sort of appendages, you pull him.
You're Eldraziing me.
I think he's werewolf.
Least favorite Innistrad block, but I dig it. It's cool.
But as you guys sort of push for the rift, you're able to sort of pull him out. And at the very last second, everybody jumps through. Barry, I need you to roll under pressure.
Yeah.
Act under pressure here.
Does it have anything to do
To
with
pull.
my magic?
Sure, I'll give it to you.
Okay, because I have the ability, not my fault, +1 to act under pressure when you're dealing with the consequences of your own spell.
Oh, that's... No, not that probably doesn't apply here.
And what am I doing?
You're acting under pressure, plus cool.
Plus cool.
Plus cool.
I think I'm gonna do luck.
Plus cool. Oh shit.
I didn't do luck.
All right. As you do, you're able to sort of like cast your spell and thrust Ned out the rift and dive through yourself just as it sort of knits itself closed. You all sort of collapse, diving out of this rift into the swampy area here. And as you do, you sort of like roll over onto your backs and look up, and you can see the mist slowly being burned away. As you sort of stand up and look around, you notice that everywhere around you, these plants that sort of come up out of the ground slowly begin to sort of wilt and twist and collapse and slump to the ground. The fog kind of burns away as if the sun had sort of burned all the way through it. You can see as the mist sort of burns away, you could see the frog creatures slumped in the mist, as it twists away to give vision of them. They're slowly being dissolved into the ground itself. You have saved the day.
Do you suppose Professor Scott survived long enough? I'm sure she.
Well, I'm sure.
50-50.
I'm sure she was fine. She would have been fine.
Ned reverts back to human form.
And still has
And
jelly legs.
looking up at the sky as the mist and the fog all dissipates and burns away. It's just like, I might write a book about this. I'll call it The Mistburn Chronicles.
Hey Ned,
Yeah.
shotgun.
And with that, I think we'll bring this session to a close. Because I think that's just too perfect a way to end our episode of TV. So even though it was a shorter session, thank you all for playing.
I'm also going to use right place, right time to be already in the shotgun position.
You did. And with that, we'll bring our session to close. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Douglas.
Peace.
Thanks, Doug.
If you had
Stop.
Oh, I should have said ending stream.
if you had fallen and not been able to get out,